YouTube. I just hit the go live.
Okay.
On my computer, it still says waiting.
Yeah, mine too. All right, there we go.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know, is anyone in here yet? I haven't seen anybody in the chat. I didn't mute.
I can hear you.
I've got Matt Gilmore here, and we also have Route 91 survivor Joe Napoli. And we're expecting Angelica Gretchen. She's just not here yet. So, there goes my notification. So we're kind of waiting on her. But do you guys want to say hello to everyone?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
I don't think we haven't.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
Yet.
Well, it says 7 watching.
Just nobody's chatting yet. Oh, there's Danny. Hi, Danny. How are you doing? You're the first one in that's actually talking, Danny. Can you see, Matt, if Angelica shows up in the basement?
No, I can't.
All right, I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Hey, Charles, how are you? Hi, Traveler. How are you? Okay. We've got Joe and Matt. Joe has some stuff he wanted to come on and talk about. He can only be here for about an hour, so I'm going to let him go first. And then after that, Matt's been digging through some old PDF paperwork. So Matt's got a lot of stuff he wants to talk about too. And hopefully Angelica will get here soon. So, okay, Joe, go ahead. Take it away.
Thank you. And thanks again for having me. I watched the Paramount Pictures or Paramount Channel 11 minutes and just didn't agree with it. It just sounded like the same, felt like the same
narrative,
just the same thing over and over, the same narrative. Stephen Paddock and, the contradictions in the hallway with Jose Campos. And, if there was, 200 rounds that was proven through that door, 32-135, I believe, that Jose Campos' legs from the waist down should have been, or the upper torso down should have looked like Swiss cheese. That's just one.
Now, after we all started questioning that long ago, then they changed it to that's how many fragments were all over in the hallway, that they really only shot through the door, I don't know, 35 or 50 times or whatever. Because I noticed that they kept moving the goalpost on us.
Yes.
Every time
absolutely.
We started questioning things.
Yep. And, and
I've got the trailer for that. You want me to pull that up?
Sure.
Before you start talking about it, just in case people haven't seen it before. It's just real quick. I'm just going to give my copyright disclaimer so that Paramount, I think if it's a trailer, I don't think they'll really care. Chrome tab. Okay, let me know if it shows up.
Yeah, I see that.
Vegas was always one of the shows that I always look forward to.
It's on.
Are we ready to party? October 1st, 2017, I woke up in Vegas. It was the best day ever.
The other day, crews are out working, getting ready for the show.
That was my first country concert. So I was excited. I was like, all right, let's do this.
It was great. Music sounded great. Crowd was pumped. The place was just electric.
Get ready, here we go. Let's set it out, baby.
That's when the world changed for us.
that shooting just drives me crazy.
I know. It's like you have it memorized in your head now.
It's just nauseating. And
watch the people fall in the crowd. Boom, 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 boom.
He got choked up too during that show.
He did a lot.
Joe, if this is too much for you, we could turn it off.
No, this is good. This is good. It's it's soothing isn't the right word, but there's a healing component to it. The sounds
Therapeutic
are straight awful, but it is at the same time. It's just I don't know if that's a double standard or how to describe it, but it's just has a healing. Maybe it's because I'm not there. Maybe it's because it's been 5 years. It took a while. It took a while for me to get over the survivor's guilt.
Oh yeah.
That was rough. We met a girl in therapy. It was a group therapy session that we found on Facebook, and the lower part of her, and she was facing the stage. And I looked at her and I said, "It's literally impossible for you to." She lifted up her shirt, and you could see a perfect circle as a scab that was healing, where she had her bullet removed, with Paddock being it. And she interrupted me and she said, "You know what? It's okay. I don't care about that. I'm alive. My son's alive." And that's the narrative they want us to abide by. You're alive. Don't worry about anything else. Well, do you know that they shut down the morgue for 4 to 6 weeks? Family members couldn't see their loved ones. That's not mentioned in 11 minutes. I personally heard 2 SWAT people at the Tropicana after we got frisked, and before we went into the ballroom, after being at the Tropicana from about 10:40 to about 4 a.m. During that time, I heard 2 SWAT people say, "We busted the door down and we dropped him." So, dropped who? Stephen Paddock?
Dropped him. Well, they had the engaged the suspect. We had the 3-round burst. They had he was already dead when we got in the room. Then we watched him off himself. So now you're hearing the stuff at the Tropicana, and it's just like,
yep. Come on.
They lied. I mean, we're just going to say it. They lied. I mean, I know that people died and got killed. I don't mean that they lied about that part, but it's like their whole narrative of what they want to push. It's like, we've been lied to a ton.
It's just, I wish that there would be, and I don't know that this is ever going to happen. But the right information comes out. Like, it took 42 to 44 minutes for them from the second, I think the first 911 call was called, or the first shots were rang out, for them to bust down the door, or for them to see. They used infrared that determined whether there was someone in the room or someone who's down in the room, or something to that effect. And it took 42 to 44 minutes to determine that someone was down in that room. And
I think they were told to stay out of there till they got their story straight and the orders from the top.
Yeah.
Before they talk.
Yeah, and you just don't hear any of that in the 11 minutes. I still am confused by 11 minutes. I hope that doesn't sound ignorant or stupid. I know gunfire was going on at 10:30.
Yes.
I don't understand where that comes from.
They named it 11 minutes. It's like they're going off somebody's chart that's not the regular timeline.
Yeah. No,
Well, they
not
need
at
to
all.
come out with
And
one that says 72 minutes to explain the whole situation, why it took them that long.
Exactly. Well, they've
Yeah.
got several other documentaries have come out, and it's like literally all of them are just stuffing the narrative down your throat.
Mhm.
So apparently, it's like we need somebody to work on one. None of us are qualified,
Yeah.
but somebody to work on one that like has the questions. I know another survivor was doing an anniversary at Inside Edition show, and all the survivors were backstage, and they were, you know, what about this? What about this? You know, all the things they were questioning and stuff. And the producer
Right.
walked in and said, listen, this will not happen on our show. You will go out there. It's an
Oh,
anniversary show. It's like there won't be any on air questioning of anything. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's probably what they're doing to all these
yeah.
documentary TV shows. Any survivors that are going to come on, like if you got invited on one of those documentaries, they'd probably tell you, no questioning this Tropicana stuff or anything. It's like you just go on and tell
Yeah.
your story about the concert, and we go to the next person.
You
So,
know, I think I've shared with you guys before. I saw, shell casings that was right around 10:25, 10:30 as we were running into the Tropicana, the service entrance there. And two
I
strangers corroborated that I
I
had never
wanted
seen or met
to
before.
Angelica's here, so I'm going to add her. Welcome, Angelica. I wanted to clear up
Angelica.
something, Joe. You found
Sure.
bullet shells in the parking lot, casings, right?
I did.
All right, because there was another YouTuber we had on a week ago, and we were
Uh-huh.
talking about that, and he was like, "Oh, they weren't shell casing." He said they were just pieces of metal. So I just wanted to
No,
for
no,
sure clarify
no.
because we knew that you said shell casings.
I'm not an ammunition expert. I'm not a gun expert.
You know what
I've
shell
said that all
casings are,
along,
right?
but I know what shell casings look like. I know what 223s look like. Those were shell casings. They were brass tubes. They got narrower as they got to the top. They were most likely 223s. There were two other people, and I can maybe send you the links to the YouTube videos. Two strangers I've never met before, never seen in my life, who corroborated not only seeing them or seeing shell casings, but in the same area of the parking lot I saw them. I've never seen them before, never met them before. There was a gun, there was just an ammunition clip that I think a bystander handed a police officer near Reno and Giles. And that is, if you look at it, and I saw a video not too long ago, and someone saying that Reno and Giles is 100 yards from Mandalay Bay. I don't know if 100 yards equals 0.9 miles, but I know Tropicana is near Reno and Giles, and I know Tropicana is 0.9 miles away from Mandalay Bay. So I don't know how shell casings show up almost a mile away. I saw a couple of bodies laying in the street, shot up. Sorry
Well,
for
Eddie
the
Schmitz also went and
in the
interviewed a
same
lady
intersection.
who saw the shell casing, same place you did.
Yeah, same place.
I mean, we were like, Eddie,
Same
you
place.
shouldn't have went and
So,
interviewed and showed her face and her address and stuff because that could get her killed. But I mean, it was good that he got that verification from another person too.
yeah, 100%.
And Angelica's done a ton of work on the 911 calls and the, you know, where the bodies were, where the shots sounds were coming from, and it's like she's done a lot of investigating over at the Tropicana, like you have.
When one calls, that's when I thought, whoa, wait a minute, maybe Paramount is going to start telling the truth here, because they were playing 911 calls from somebody on a bridge near New York, or near Caesars or whatever it was, that's literally shooting at people.
I think MGM
Why didn't
Grand.
they expand? Or MGM Grand, that's what it was. Yeah. I've had, I don't know if you know the name Gio Rios. If you look him up on YouTube, him and his girlfriend were hiding in a trash receptacle near, I think it was New York or Caesars, or no, I'm sorry, it was either Venetian or Bellagio. And then they saw a man dressed in black with a briefcase.
That was
dressed in all black with it. I think.
Yeah,
that was that Tropicana?
Tropicana,
Okay.
yeah.
You're right.
And also
That
there
was
were
Gio Rios.
several
You're right.
witness
You're absolutely right.
statements when we went through the PDFs,
Yeah,
there were
you're right.
several witness statements of people that were leaving the venue that saw people dressed in black, people with weapons. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, I guess their papers just got tossed aside. You know, we found it reading
Yeah.
them, but it never
Over
made the
now, and
news.
now we're running.
Sorry, I was queuing up Gio Rios. I have him queued where he specifically talks about the Tropicana.
Oh, you
Yeah,
want to screen
and-
share it?
Well, it's up to
So when they
Joe. You know, I'd really like to try to keep Joe on here as much as possible. You know, we can.
Sure.
Yeah,
Joe's
he can
gotta-
only do an hour, so we can always pull
Okay.
that
I
up.
apologize.
Yeah, so let's just let
I
Joe
just-
talk, and after he's done, you know, I can show like Gio Rios and then the other stuff that I have that connects to the Tropicana incidents.
Good idea. Okay,
Yeah,
Joe,
it's
back
still
to you.
pretty still pretty raw with my wife. So if I have conversations like this in the house and she hears and she gets rattled, and I apologize. So I'm trying to respect that as much as possible. But again, I really appreciate you guys having me on. But I thought that Paramount was going to really start to pivot towards, hey, wait a minute. There was these, what about these 911 calls in different areas that are far from Mandalay Bay? But they played those, but they didn't expand upon them. They didn't dig it any deeper. They just them and somehow their.
You're breaking up, Joe.
About now, you hear me?
You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're
like
breaking up
cutting in
really
and out.
bad.
Hello,
How about
Green
now?
Host.
Good, better now. Yeah, back up about 5-10 seconds.
Okay. Sorry. Why not, if they're going to play those 911 calls, why not expand upon them? Because they clearly, you have eyewitnesses of others, you know, dressed in what they're dressed in, carrying weapons, and one of the calls was seeing someone shoot someone or shooting at people. Why didn't Paramount expand upon those? I really thought that they were going to pivot and start talking about maybe there was more than one shooter, or maybe it wasn't Paddock, because of the following. Listen to these 911 calls.
Right.
Well, the
And
thing is all
it's really
of us
frustrating.
know because we've researched, and it's like I don't think the media is ever going to say it.
Right.
I was really hoping that they would. I was really hoping that they would pivot towards that. You know, and then you know, the victims. I do remember seeing, you know, one of the gal, the one gal that was shot in the face. I do remember running past someone who was shot in the face as we were.
Like a Spanish lady, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I have that also, because so many people have said that, you know, this is, you know, nobody got shot, nobody was killed. And so
Yeah.
I actually have a collection of, you know, stills that I've taken from the videos. And yeah, she was kind of round in the face and she's holding her face a lot, you know, she's got long nails. So I you know, after we're done here, I'll go into all of that and actually show, you know, the stuff you're talking about, I'm going to show tonight after you leave.
And so, yeah, I remember running past her as we exited the back of the venue. I remember running past a girl that couldn't have been older than my daughter, reaching out for help. And I remember stopping to help. And I remember my wife telling me to, you know, we got to keep running because you could continue to hear the gunfire. And I didn't, you know, I stopped because I wanted to help. And worst case, I didn't want her to die alone.
How sad.
Yeah. And, you know, the parking lot it's a parking lot now, but, you know, the venue that was quickly, I don't know if it was successfully sold to the LVMPD or if that was just a rumor, but it should have been a crime scene a lot longer than it was. I still don't understand the MGM wanting to, you know, countersue the victims. But I really had an issue with 11 minutes from the name of it to what was included in it, what they left out. And it just goes to show you that the narrative, unfortunately, will continue unless there's a producer out there who believes what we believe and sees the hard work that you all have put in to these investigations. It felt like ammunition was raining on us. They got louder
That's
and
what I've heard
closer
from other
and
survivors.
faster.
Yep. And chasing
Absolutely.
people as they were running to get away, they could feel it coming closer. And the
Yeah.
narrative pushers that used to argue with us on YouTube were like, oh, well, you know, they were just confused or whatever. And it's like, no. When you're running away from something and something's like getting louder and following you, it's not the echoes in the mountains and, you know, panic. Especially when they all have the same story, so many of them.
It was interesting to hear, though, that I don't know if you guys remember this in 11 minutes, but people talking about concrete and asphalt being chewed up.
Mhm.
Now,
Yes.
if you're raining ammunition down from, say, 32 floors up, okay, I guess that makes sense. But if the asphalt and the cement is being rapidly chewed up,
It's closer.
rapidly, faster and faster, it's got to be coming from a higher level, and it's got to have more power.
Well,
behind
remember
it,
the
I would
brick
imagine.
wall the cops were hiding behind?
Yeah.
Where they were
Yes.
showing?
Yes. Unreal. So I found that very, very interesting that people saw asphalt and concrete being chewed up, and then just no expanding upon that. I mean, I don't understand. Well, I do understand why the narrative, but at the same time, it doesn't do the victim's family any justice.
It's all in the name of tourism and money for the town.
Absolutely. I have to deal with that too here in Orlando with Disney.
Yep.
I
I'm
backed
sure
out
if it happened
twice.
in Chicago, you know, it would have been a lot different.
Is that the Lollapalooza?
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. My daughter was at that the same year of Route 91. Wasn't Paddock supposed to have been there months before?
Supposedly
he
he checked it out, or he was looking online about it. And I guess you know, they allegedly said that he had made a hotel reservation or something, but then he ended up canceling it. I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, who knows?
The Chicago one?
Yeah. Because that's a lot more people. I mean, it's a 4-day concert, and they probably have about maybe
they wanted
well over 1 million people attend throughout the whole 4 days.
They
so you
needed to pick their imaginary patsy to be a gambler with problems and money, and I mean, they just picked the perfect person, and Vegas was the place they picked.
MGM station.
Sorry.
Oh, Angelica's pulling stuff up.
Do you guys what are your thoughts on I thought for sure that Paramount would have added, I don't hear much about the gal that was near the front of the stage telling everybody they're going to die in the next 45 minutes, or that she was in an elevator at first telling concert goers that were on their way to the venue that they were going to die when they got there.
Oh, the lady at the front of the stage.
Yeah, the lady in the front of the stage.
That girl also was interviewed. We found her on body cam talking to the cops.
Yes. Yeah.
Same girl that said the lady was at the front of the stage. She was swept under the rug too. A lot of them were.
Yeah. And there were others who brought up the helicopters, right? There was a gentleman, I think, in a hotel room, either floor below, on the 31st floor. I don't remember. Was his name Brian? Was he an Australian guy? He said he could
Hodge
see
was
the
the
helicopter.
one that said he was next door to Paddock and he was hiding in the bushes. I don't know that he mentioned the helicopters. I think that was somebody else.
No.
Was it somebody else?
Yeah,
maybe it was somebody else.
There's quite a few 911 calls of people talking about helicopters.
A lot of survivors talk about them too.
Yeah.
And Angelica, do you remember? Did you see? I'm sure you all saw 11 minutes. Did when they played the 911 calls? did they play any of the calls that where people mentioned helicopters?
I haven't watched 11 minutes. I don't have Paramount Plus.
I don't recall it.
No, Paramount didn't. They
I
didn't
don't think they
have
did.
the survivors that they interviewed. It's like I was talking about at the beginning. Were like strictly talking about what happened to them and their recovery and their experience. But it's like I think it was like that Inside Edition. I think they weren't allowed to go on. There was no questioning of anything on there.
Yeah, one of
It
the
kind of went
nurses.
straight with the narrative.
Yeah, no, you're right. I remember watching. Was it maybe towards the end where one of the nurses she left her job, I think, as a result of this. I think one of the doctors, I saw one of the doctors, if not two of the doctors they interviewed, get emotional, because of this. I could have sworn one of the doctors was, you could tell that he didn't come out and question, but you could tell he wasn't buying this. I don't remember what he said exactly, but you could really tell in his mannerisms, what he was saying, that it was tough for him to buy off on one guy 32 floors up does all of this.
Well,
I think he even talked about where bodies came from, Reno and Giles, and putting two and two together, where they shot in front of the stage and ran out of life by the time they got to Reno and Giles, where they shot near Reno and Giles.
well, from a medical perspective, for the doctors, they are going to be questioning some of this in their mind, but then they're also going to be being told by their superiors, hey, go along with this. And it's when the sheriff got on, and I know I've said this a million times, at 1:30 in the morning, and it said, one shooter, we got him, done deal. And the next morning they were still taking bodies out of the venue. It's like, no way they knew it was a done deal at 1:30 in the morning, because they hadn't investigated and seen what bullets were in what people.
No, I saw people covering, they were still covering bodies near the stage and at the venue as we were walking from, we had to stay in MGM that night, and we got a phone call from Mandalay Bay at about 8:30, 8:45 in the morning on Monday morning saying you can come back to your room, because we were staying at Mandalay Bay. We were on the 25th floor.
I flew out on the next morning, and they had rerouted us to the airport, and we asked the cop, either me or my dad, I don't remember which one, why are we getting rerouted to the airport? Because I was a little nervous to fly. I was pretty much convinced the town was taken over by terrorists. And he's like, oh, it's because they're still taking bodies out of the venue over at the concert, dead people. So it's like, that was like you saying the next morning when they let you go. So it's like, how would they know that it was one shooter if they hadn't checked, the ammo? And that would have been the people already getting to the hospital and having doctors pull their bullets out and stuff.
All those 911 calls talking about seeing other shooters, other people dressed in whatever, all of them. I don't know how many 911 calls there were, but there were enough to completely pivot away from one dude, and it wasn't even touched. They played the 911 calls in 11 minutes.
The ones
they
didn't
chose expand to play. It all.
Yep.
Yeah.
True. They didn't play. You're right. But I figured the ones they played, especially someone saying he sees somebody shooting nowhere near Mandalay Bay, nowhere near the venue. I mean, it's why not? Why elect to play that and not go deeper?
Well, and the thing is Paramount is such a huge company. They shouldn't be like fearful of somebody telling them you got to stick to the narrative here. It's like they're like huge, like Universal. So it's like if anybody was going to like let the survivors talk about like how you're talking, you would think it'd be one of those big production companies, and it's like they didn't.
There's 40 calls that give descriptions of seeing shooters.
There we go. Angelica sent me all her notes a long time ago, and they're all handwritten. And there was 40, probably like hundreds of pages, and they all look just like that. Yep.
Yeah. I know it's not. I just think I saw it. No, they were giving descriptions. They look like this. They squatted down in a tactical position. They shot down the hallway at me as I rounded the corner.
I think a long time ago someone volunteered to take your notes and type them, but then they never did.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember who that was.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Great work, Angelica. That is incredible. incredible. When I did my walkthrough with Crowdsource, just maybe I think
Jason.
on the anniversary, or just maybe just a few months after, we didn't have an issue going up to the 32nd floor was blocked off, obviously, but we walked right past security.
Weren't you guys
and
doing
there's
that live?
Yeah, and they're
'Cause
different
in
if you're
my mind,
familiar
I'm
with
like, wait a minute, I
Mandalay.
watched you do this.
Yeah. And so, if it was, I think it was a month or two after the shooting, and if you are familiar with the area where the elevators are, there's like elevators adjacent from each other, and I think there's another set of elevators that are also adjacent from each other, kind of like in a diagonal way. I think there's 4 areas, but they're across from one another in different areas. And then there's security. There was like podiums in front of each walkway in between the elevators. And then there was security behind those podiums. And we walked right and they're supposed to ask you, let me see your room key. Nobody asked us anything. We got up to the 31st floor and tried to go around kind of the back way.
Up there. Not even
Yeah.
I've walked all over that place. I've walked out of emergency doors that said do not open, alarm will sound. No alarm sounded. I walked up to where you could reach the roof access through the parking garage, even with a backpack on looking sketchy, and no one ever stopped me. I walked up that flight of stairs behind the Tropicana up onto that lower roof platform, and no one ever stopped me. And that's something too about the Tropicana at night. That back parking area behind it is super dark, and there is no cameras at all anywhere facing that back lot.
Unbelievable.
So it would have been a prime place, and that's where you walked through and you saw the casings on the ground. That would have been a prime place for a shooter to be up on that lower roof level of the Tropicana, shooting down at the people exiting the venue, and then just easily run down that flight of stairs, have a car ready, and take off. And
that's a perfect area for that.
Yeah,
perfect.
Nothing would have been
There
seen.
is no obstruction in that view whatsoever. None.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the way that roof is too, you could almost, lay on the roof because there's that little peaked roof, on the lower part of, right by the stairs and the backside of the Tropicana. You could have laid up there, and just been blocked, from the venue side. No one would have really seen you, and been laying and then just shooting straight down into the venue or the people walking, running out of the venue. And then, like I said, do a few volleys, jump back down, run down the stairs, jump in a car, take off. No one would have ever seen you.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. And it's super dark. It's really scary back there at night.
Yeah. Yeah. And interesting enough, as we ran into the service entrance after running through that parking lot area just on the other side of Reno and Giles, I remember walking in and I seeing lockers on the right-hand side. This is, I think, the staff area where, they keep their stuff while they're working. And then to the left was this little room with other lockers and 2 or 3 IV bags being held up. And I'm like, my mind it's going through all kinds of different thoughts while we're, fight or flight, right? While you're running for your life. But seeing bodies in the middle of Reno and Giles, knowing where we came from at the venue, crossing the street, seeing shell casings, and then adding that to seeing bodies, going in to the Tropicana and then seeing makeshift, I guess, a triage with IV bottles already.
Hooters sure was getting quick too.
That's really interesting. About 45 minutes after we got into the Tropicana, some kid, I've said all along, he's in his, early to mid 20s, just takes off running down this long hallway. That's in the middle of this hallway is just a piece of, it's a metal railing that divides the hallway. And it's probably 30, 40 yards long. And he just started running, and then everybody else started running after that. Come to find out, what I had heard is that young man heard gunfire. Now, I didn't hear gunfire. Nobody in our crew heard gunfire, but he did, and everybody else took off. And then I hear months later, that there could have been a shooter outside, could have been a helicopter outside. Angelica could have been someone who is, on that roof area with an unobstructed view,
The extraction point.
taking shots. Yeah, exactly. So, and none of that's, of course, none of that's going to be, shared on 11 minutes. But it just goes to show you that the narrative, they'll push it as long as they can. Unless someone, brave enough is able to do it. But I just don't see, even if they are, they will, I don't know that it'll see the light of day. I was this close to talking to someone with the AP in Vegas. I remember him printing a story, maybe I think it was Case Closed by the LVMPD, and then they kind of wrote an article about it. And for the first time, I got really, really pissed off to a point where, and it takes a lot for me to get that hot. And I remember reaching out to him, and he's like, well, let's sit down and talk. And I was like, well, I still am young enough. I still want to live. I don't want to be
target on your back. That's the thing. I've had a lot of survivors that now that the years have gone by, they're not as nervous as they were the first year, but it's like a lot of them talked about, just like you. It's like if you speak out, then they're going to want to shut you up.
And there's been others that have been. I don't want that to happen. I just don't. But it isn't about me.
We got attacked enough. I mean, just the YouTube thing. I think some of the narrative pushers were like put in the community on purpose to sway us and make us try to believe the narrative, and they'd argue whenever we'd bring up points and stuff. And I mean, I don't think that was coincidence. And then all the
Matt, was it you that
and everyone stopped researching, and there was all the fighting and drama on YouTube, and it was just like, yeah, I think some of that was on purpose.
Well, was it Matt, or was it you? Was it you, Truth, that had FBI come to your house?
No, they were my local police in their SWAT gear. Someone in California, pertaining to Vegas, made a call and reported me for domestic terrorism. I don't know if that's what they told them, but whatever their story was to the cops at my door, that was what they were coming for. And they gave me the big lecture about stay off YouTube, knock off the Vegas stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I'm kind of like a little bit intimidated because the body cameras were rolling and they had their guns strapped on, their AR-15s or whatever they carry, the big ones. And so I was a little intimidated, but I was like, you can't tell me to stay off YouTube and my computer. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
And they were like, look, we're just following orders. We were sent here. We don't even really know what's going on. Our boss got this phone call and it was our job to come. And it was like 2 or 2:30 in the morning when they showed up. So
were you up when that happened, or were you asleep?
I was up and I was doing computer stuff in my computer room, Vegas, of course, and I hear this banging on my door, and I've got kind of like this little glass panel in the front of my door. It's kind of that frosted glass. So my computer room's on one end of the house, my bedroom's on the other end. So when I heard the pounding on the door, I walked across into my bedroom to get my gun. So they had to have seen me walk across because I had to go across the living room. I go to the door, I'm racking my gun right in front of the door, and I'm like, what do you want? I didn't know it was cops, and they were just pounding, and I'm thinking, is someone gonna rob me? What's the deal? And they're like, this is the Westland Police, ma'am. And I'm like, how do I know that? I'm not gonna open the door. I mean,
right.
I live by myself. It's like, you kind of, is it really cops? I can't really see. So finally they were like, ma'am, you need to open up the door, da-da-da-da. So I had my gun. I set it on the couch, within 3 inches of my arm, figuring, oh, well, if it's punk kids, I'll just do what I need to do. So I opened the door, and when I saw that it was cops, my jaw kind of just dropped. And so they started talking, and then they're like, ma'am, it's a little bit cold out here. Can we come in? I didn't want them to come in because I had the gun sitting there. And I'm like, well, and they were trying to be really nice about it. And I'm like, well, what's this about? Is my neighbor okay? Because my next door neighbor got abused a lot and we were always having to call the cops. They're like, this isn't about your neighbor. This is about you. They're like, can we come in? It's cold. So I start opening the door to let him in. And I'm like, I put both of my hands kind of like palm facing them up by my shoulders. I'm like, listen, I just need to tell you, there's a loaded rack gun right there on my couch. Don't shoot me. So they took the gun and, put the gun in one room and the magazine in another room. But yeah, that freaked me out. And a lot of people
It's
on
cold
YouTube
outside.
didn't even know whether to well, that was their excuse to come in. Then everybody later was like, you never should have let him in. You never should have let him in. And it's like, but my dad always told me, he was a Vietnam vet and had a lot of weapons and stuff. And he always told us when we were growing up, he's like, listen, he goes, if you don't have anything illegal in your house and you haven't done anything wrong, he's like, the rule is never let them in. He goes, but I've had enough friends that like didn't let them in. Then they come back with a warrant and they've got knives. They're cutting open your couch cushions and stuff. So he's like, if you don't have anything to hide, just politely let them in. He goes, if you got a drug lab going in the basement or something, don't. But he goes, they'll trash your house, if they come with the warrant.
Unbelievable.
And start hauling off your computer and all that. So I let them in. I probably shouldn't have, they always say that, but.
Yeah, our room was trashed. When we went back to our room, finally got back to our room and opened it up, everything was everywhere. I just felt, we both
Did they
felt,
search
both
your
of us
room
felt
or
so.
was that from you?
Oh yeah, no, they searched our room. They searched that whole
What
hotel,
floor were
top to
you
bottom,
on?
before we 25th.
So they're still searching and trashing rooms long after they said it was one person.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That whole
Well, I
it took.
noticed
Yeah.
I noticed on body cam that some of those rooms they were clearing, people were in bed and they were just like, you need to evacuate. There's been a shooter, da 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 da. And I'm going, if I ever want to commit a mass murder, all I have to do is like go in my hotel room down the hall and jump under the covers and they're just going to escort me out the door. And it
Yep.
didn't look like they were really searching those rooms. So we just must not have seen the trashing of the rooms on body cam, other than the room where they were, raiding the mini fridge and using the toilet and all that, which that body cam was a crack up.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and it took it took probably 6-7 hours to get home, and that's a 3.5 hour, 4-hour drive. But with the traffic, and we didn't get out of town until till well after 10:30. They moved our car from valet. They usually valet at Mandalay, but for some reason they moved it to Delano, which we didn't know until
I thought they shared a
till we
parking
left.
garage.
I guess they do, but I don't know why the reason that they would move. We didn't use our car the whole time, so why? Maybe to make room. I don't know. I was
for all
that was
to
odd.
show up and yeah.
Yeah. So our room was ransacked. Everything was just a mess. The bed was off the box springs. You name it. Clothes were everywhere. Toiletry stuff in the bathroom that was all turned upside down. Stuff broken. Some of my wife's stuff broken.
Oh wow.
But when we were in the ballroom, got to the ballroom probably about 1:30 in the morning, and then maybe 2 a.m. and we had to stay in this ballroom at the Tropicana. I don't know if you remember seeing the picture with the red kind of weird looking carpet, and then the carpet on the walls kind of red and yellow.
Were on the floor and some blankets and sheets.
Yep. So we were in there, and they left it. They let us out about 4:15 a.m. And that was the very first time, and I think very first time for a lot of other people as well, to see Las Vegas completely pitch black. All the casino lights were off. All the street lights were off. Intersection lights weren't working. And we wanted to go back in. I remember one of the police officers saying, and they were walking around, there was probably half a dozen of them walking around that ballroom for 2 or 3 hours that we were in there. But they still needed to clear it. They wouldn't let us back in, but we couldn't go back to Mandalay Bay. And so we, at first, really didn't have anywhere to go. We were lucky enough that one of the couples in our crew were able to make it back to their room in MGM, and they let us stay until we could go back to our room at Mandalay. But I always thought that was interesting that they still needed to clear that ballroom, even though they were monitoring it for hours while we were in there, guns drawn and everything.
Gio Rios kind of talked about the same thing. It's like there was some stuff going down at the Tropicana. You people were like not only on lockdown, like don't anybody leave the hotel, but it was like they were like, I mean, with the guns and the weapons and all that, it's like, it all makes sense to me because I think, it was a multiple shooter situation, but being that they went on the news and said, nope, everything's okay. It's like, then why'd everyone have to stay locked up till 5:30 in the morning?
Right.
Why was the airport closed all night? It's kind of like if they had a case closed at 1:30, then none of that would have been necessary. So that's just, to me, more proof that we were lied to.
Absolutely.
The stories, some of the stories that 11 Minutes had about some of the victims passing away and their relatives being interviewed and talked about, I thought that they did a good job with. The gal that was shot, one of the gals that was shot in the face, I think she was able to reunite with her husband eventually. That, I think they did a good job of showing that. I wish they would have talked about
a lot of the thing. I think with a lot of the survivors, like you've been involved with Facebook and YouTube and investigating, with people like Robert Goodman or Jason Goodman. So I think a lot of it is, it's like a lot of the people that went to the concert and were told what happened on the news, it's like they didn't read all these PDFs and watch all these body cams and hang on YouTube with all us researchers. It's like they don't know a lot of stuff, or that they have stuff in common with other survivors because they didn't dig like we did.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't say enough about you all. I mean, when I was watching the show a few weeks back and then heard that someone, I guess it was you, True, that someone had, police showing up at their door, and the risk that you guys take, I just,
they
I
called
can't say enough.
Several of us. They called our employers. My daughter's husband got called. They thought they were calling her, but they called him to threaten. They were calling to threaten her, but they got the number wrong. They found it online or something. And Joe Roscoe was doing a live stream, and actually live had somebody pull up in his driveway and get in a fight. So I mean, there were like several things that were all going on all at once. It's like they wanted to shut us up. And the thing is, it's like, if the narrative's true and we're all idiots, then what do they care what we get on here and yak about? It's
exactly.
Like there's a reason that they want us shut up. I'm surprised Angelica hasn't been attacked yet.
Nah. I've walked all over Vegas. I've been, very invasive, and, even wore like a GoPro camera on my chest, and, you couldn't tell if it was on or off, and walked all up in the casinos, up and down stairwells,
You were invisible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess because I'm a girl and I'm blonde, and, I'm probably the smartest dumb blonde you'll ever meet. But, I put off a vibe because, I am very lighthearted. I try to stay very positive in life. So, my energy is kind of like, oh, she's just kind of like a stupid tourist, acting dumb, and I intentionally put off that vibe, especially in Vegas, where if anybody ever was to come up and question me, I would just be like, derp, I don't know, I'm lost, but no one ever did. So, and I just look like a typical dumb blonde walking around aimlessly, so they just kind of leave me alone, I guess. I don't know.
Well, we were never getting attacked by normal people like how you would, if you were walking around town. Ours was coming from the YouTube community.
Yeah,
all those things that happened to all of us, it's like it was other YouTubers that.
Yeah, well, I had a couple of fans, but mainly Alan Dion. That's why, I'm just like, nope, I have zero patience for him. And then he found me on Facebook and started attacking me there. So, I've blocked him like just about everywhere I could block him, and I've reported him a couple times.
I had him blocked here, and then he showed up again, and he said he lost his channel.
Yeah, well.
So I don't know if I blocked him after that because he hasn't shown back up the last couple live streams. So I might have blocked him.
Yeah, well, usually when the attacking starts in the chats, that's when I'll bail, or I'll just stay silent. you know, because I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it to power play people and, you know,
Well,
have
other
arguments.
than Alan coming and doing that, and a couple other times we had someone jump in that quickly, two of them quickly got blocked. But it's like in my chats, everybody like kind of gets along. It's like they have different theories, they believe different things, but it's
Right.
like everyone's kind of polite and nice to everyone. And when Alan came in, he really totally threw that vibe off.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like I like how everybody in here, it's like, I sit there and watch the chat roll by and they're all talking to each other and they all believe different things, but it's like everybody's nice. Nobody's being mean to anybody.
Right.
Right. And I believe everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe, you know, and
Sure.
I'm not here to dispute anyone. You know, I just basically go on facts, you know, facts and evidence, you know, and that's everything in my research isn't speculation. I don't like to speculate. You know, I
Oh.
go, you know, what really got me going on this was, you know, just common sense. You know, I looked at it with my own
It was
eyes, my
common
own ears,
sense.
Yeah.
and, you know, and then went into the 911 calls and just listened to them completely on my own, you know, just because I was a limo driver at the time and I had a lot of spare time sitting in parking lots doing nothing. So I'd throw on my headphones. So, you know, if somebody did walk up, they didn't have to hear people screaming on the 911 calls. So I just listened to them completely on my own all the way through. Got so angry at the end, you know, crying, threw off my headphones, and I was just angry that these people weren't being heard. And so that's when, you know, I was sitting in the limo one day, you know, I was on like a, I don't know, 6-8 hour charter and sat in this parking lot, you know, getting paid to do the, you know, really raw, rough 911 videos that I did on the calls, you know, and it because it's over 30 hours, you know, and not a lot of people have the time to sit and listen to 30 hours of 911 calls. So I just, you know, in my own spare time started just jotting down notes, you know, oh wow,
Well, I listened to all of them, but I didn't take the notes
Yeah.
like you did. It's like I
yeah,
knew
well,
you were doing that in-depth notes, and it's like I listened to them all because I, did all the body cam and recordings and everything they sent out.
mhm.
But when you were doing these in-depth notes, it was like, oh, good, someone's on that. Now I can go
Yeah,
concentrate on
because that's all I
autopsies.
could do is carry a paper and some pen, you know, and you know, take it into the limo with me, and just as I was listening, going, "Oh, this one's really important. This one's really important." You know, that's just screaming. You know, so I eliminated all the unnecessary stuff and focused just on, you know, the ones that said, you know, are giving descriptions of shooters. You know, or saying, "I'm at the Tropicana and I'm hearing shooting now." You know, there's a shooter here. You know, that's the stuff I focused on, and there's a ton of it. You know, it's not even like, you know, it was 50 people. No, there's, you know, I even added it all up at some point. I have it here, but anyway, it, you know, there's like a good, what, 2/3 that are saying something completely opposite of the narrative. You know, from I'm
Yep.
at this hotel, you know, 17 different locations are saying there's an active shooter here now.
The
You know,
Yeah.
MGM guys on the bridge, yeah, it's like
yeah,
they knew
Yeah.
for sure.
When are you
It's like
guys
they're
going to
seeing
get
it with
here?
their
Well,
eyes.
calm down. We're going to do the best we can. We got multiple calls. When are you
right.
guys people hiding seeing this stuff? When are you guys going to get here? Like and
Mhm.
when I thought they were going to play, when they played the 911 calls, I thought they were going to pivot to that. I really thought they were going to dig deeper.
Yeah. So, you know, and what I did, you know, is I took that 30 hours and turned it into an hour and a half, you know, and if
That's
anybody
awesome.
wants to, you can take this playback speed, you know, it's down in your settings. And that's how I watch a lot of videos, you know, that are 2 hours or 4 hours long, you know, as I take the settings and I just speed up that playback to 1.5, you know, so it's faster. And, you know, so you can do that with my videos or any videos. And, you know, that's what I would suggest is take the time to listen to what these people are saying. And, you know, people
Yep.
like Joe, you know, you don't make this kind of stuff up. You know,
No.
this
No.
isn't just I want to be famous. I
And
want
I've
to be different.
I've
You
been
know, it's
I
from
mean,
your
people
heart.
people threatened me. They on social media, why didn't you prove to us you were there? Why didn't you pick up and let's stop and pick up a shell casing? Prove to us you were there. You weren't there. And I can tell you everything from the moment we got to Vegas, and this was our fourth Route 91, to the moment we got on the freeway to drive home on Monday, October 2nd, and everything else in between, like it was yesterday. And
Right.
I don't mind telling anyone if they want to know. I will tell them. My story has never changed.
Never wavered.
It has
Yeah.
always been this. It has always been the same. I have heard, as when the shooting happened and weeks and months after that, I learned new things. For example, a gentleman who protected his wife, who unfortunately died, from Bakersfield, was 7 to 10 feet to our right. If we're facing the stage at the back of the green AstroTurf where we usually are every year, there's someone towards the strip. There's a little VIP area there, and he stood in front of his wife and took a bullet and died. And they were 7 to 10 feet from us. I didn't learn that till probably about a year or two after the shooting. My neighbor's best friend's wife was Hannah Allers. She was victim number 5 in the FIT report. This gentleman from Bakersfield was victim number 1. That's another thing I wanted to see in the 11 minutes was the FIT report. They brought up LVMPT, they brought up heroes, things of that nature. I thought that they were going to kind of bring up the aerial view of the venue where the FIT report has where the victims died. But I don't know if that would have supported their narrative because not all the victims died in front of the stage either. So
Oh no,
I
if
don't
they
know
pull that up, then that starts
Right.
questioning. They don't
It
want the
does. You're
general
right.
population out there. Like, we're already questioning, they're not going to shut us up, but they don't want the general population that's just accepted what they heard on the news that week and moved on with life to be looking at something on Paramount going, hey, wait a minute, look at that map there. Those people aren't all in front of the stage. And what about that body that was found here and there? And there were people found all over, which may have been shot in the venue and ran and then dropped when they died. But more people that weren't questioning it before might start questioning it. And I don't think they want that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the people who, I don't know how many millions of people watched 11 minutes, but if there was enough to watch it from start to finish and they really paid attention to those 911 calls, maybe that sparked something. And I know I keep saying it tonight, but it's one of the things that I was glad that they threw in because it's completely different than some patsy in a hotel 32 floors up doing this.
Yeah.
And I just wish that they would
some
have
old dude running around back and forth.
Right.
In his pajamas and slippers.
Watching a computer monitor and hearing a door slam when, Campos came through. He was a busy guy with tissue in his ears.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Was there, I know that there was a room service. I know he ordered room service or, whatever.
For 4 people. Yeah.
Right. The cart that was outside, has that cart always been there? I don't remember.
In their
they
always
ran
part of
with room service, yeah.
Yeah, in their footage and their body cams, yes, that was always there.
Well, according to Campos, this statement, that cart wasn't there when he walked by.
Right. And so this is pre-COVID. So a lot of times room service leaves the cart in the room because it's got so much food on it. But then after you eat it, you push it outside. People do that too.
Door, right.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's true. But I just didn't know, according to Campos, there was nothing in front of that room but him.
Well, I found it odd that, Paddock's going to eat his meal for 2 and push the cart out there. I don't know if the meal for 2 was even that day, but anyways, push the cart out there and arrange all his cameras and stuff on something that there's a chance room service is going to come up and clear your cart. They don't just leave it sitting in the hallway all the time. So it's like, why would he set all his equipment up on something that at any minute could have been swooped away?
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
That just doesn't make any sense.
There's so much that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
I got involved.
I mean, like all the pictures in the FIT report from the hallway and inside the room, it just doesn't add up.
It doesn't.
I was
him
a
laying there.
Photographer. I have a
Well,
degree.
that's the other thing about him laying there because
It wasn't.
Not
sorry,
even
Stephen
close.
Paddock didn't do this, and that wasn't a body that just died. I'm sorry.
No, but Kathy, do you remember last year when I put those 2 pictures together of Paddock lying on the floor, and how it looked like he was in different positions, like he wasn't even.
Well, but the one cop in his report though did roll him over. So some pictures
but
could have been taken before and some after.
But here's the thing: I can't pull them up on my computer. I have them on my laptop, but on the next live we do, I'll put these pictures
Yeah,
up.
and I was a photographer. I have a degree in photography, and one of my assignments was to capture a crime scene. And when I look at those photos, they are complete trash. There's the lighting is bad. There's shadowing. It's blurry. The angles they took it at. It should have been. Every aspect of that room. You kind of come in. You shoot as wide as you can. To capture the entire scene, and then you slowly start to graduate in and focus on each aspect of the crime scene. And when I look at those photos, it's like, would somebody take it with their cell phone? It's just it's horrible. It's garbage. Wow. It's complete garbage. And that's what triggered me in the beginning. I was like, who took these pictures, and why would you
it's
get
insulting.
Your feet? Yeah, your feet are in it. I mean, just everything is insulting, completely insulting about this. And that's
no
why
pictures of the bullet holes in the hallways.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Until that one documentary came out where they had cut those big holes in the drywall.
Right. No, I understand that, but I'm talking about beforehand. Why didn't they take pictures of that and put them in the fit reports?
Exactly.
Well, the door was drilled.
Every aspect.
I'm going to hold on to that one for the rest of my life. The door was drilled.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
of course,
it would have been Swiss cheese shredded with an AR-15 or whatever,
100%.
AR-10 going through the door. Yeah, as many times.
And when you shoot yourself, I mean, look, we're not experts, right? And I'm not, I know mental illness is real, and I can speak for family members who have. So this isn't about that. But was he standing up and fell on his back perfectly? Was he sitting Indian style and fell on his back with his legs completely straight out?
He was taken out of the morgue and placed in the staged room.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
I mean,
that body was dead
goodness.
6 or more hours based on the
stiff as a board. His toes were flexed, his hands
on his body, the livor mortis.
Yeah.
And I've gotten arguments with other YouTubers about that. So it's like I don't want to debate that with anyone, but it's like I took those photos. I work at a hospital, to doctors and stuff like that, and people that work in the morgue, and no, they were like, that person didn't just die. Not a chance.
Yeah. No. He was dead for hours, and even, the Bitsko, he comes in and says, oh, that guy's been dead for a minute, and that means a long time, in today's language.
It does.
Yeah.
419. He's been 419 for a minute.
Yeah.
That was, actually, I don't think it was Bitsko. I think it was the other guy, wasn't it? Yeah. No, it was Bitsko. You're right.
Yeah. Chin can guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lovely chin cams
and
the blurriness of those body-worn cameras is garbage too. It's just garbage.
I do have to jump. I do sincerely appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
I will talk about this.
Yeah. So
I would love to. I mean, I don't want to stop talking about this ever.
Yeah, we'd like to have you on
Anytime
again.
You want to come on.
Yeah.
Now that some freedom of information stuff has been released, it's kind of revived everybody back into talking about it again. So yeah, it's like anytime you want to come on, just message me.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm going to cover the 911 calls about the Tropicana after you go now, and I'm going to cover Gio Rios.
Good deal.
And, so you can watch that later.
Go back and watch it. This last part, and hopefully it'll, help free your mind.
I will do that. Absolutely. And I appreciate you doing that, Angelica. And I can't say enough about all you guys. I can't say it enough how much you guys risk and how much you put out there in order to bring the truth to the victims' families, and then just the truth to everyone, period. And I really appreciate you guys doing that. I'm going to be in Vegas middle of January. I don't know, Angelica, do you live out there?
No, I live in Orlando, but I'm going in March for Depeche Mode concert, and I'll be there October 1st.
Ooh, Depeche Mode.
Gotcha.
You're lucky.
Yeah, we're actually going to Depeche when they're here in LA, I think in December. So they're going to be making their way out towards you, I think, after that. So, but thank you for all you do. I'll let you know when I go to Vegas if you guys need me to do anything, look at anything, call from there. I can do that 100%.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And thanks for coming on. And sorry about your puppy. And
No,
anytime you want to
thank
come
you.
on, definitely just send
Yeah.
me a
I
message
have
because
one
Veronica's
request, Joe.
doing
When
this.
you're there,
Yes.
can you show me exactly where you saw the bullet casings? You know, I
I
know
would.
you walked through
I'd
with
be
Jason
honored to.
Goodman, but I'd love to
Yep.
see, exactly where they were.
Yeah, do
No
a
problem
walk
at all.
around and take some video, and then we can share it
Well, that's what I
online.
wanted to do. I wanted to do that. I know, again, it's a parking lot, but I wanted to just, I know exactly where we're standing. I know our path like it was yesterday, and I was going to
Right.
walk it, maybe video it, and then run over, to Tropicana, and I can call from there. I can take pictures. I can take video from there. So no
Joe,
problem.
can you clarify one more time that it was shell casings and not just pieces of metal? Because the YouTuber that had misunderstood that is in the chat now.
I can tell you undoubtedly, no question whatsoever, that as we were running right through Reno and Giles, as we went through the bushes and got into the parking lot, prior to entering the Tropicana service entry, I looked down, I saw beer cans, I saw drink cups, and I saw brass tubings, 223 tubings. They were not pieces of metal whatsoever. So, and two other people have corroborated that, who don't know me, have never met me, are strangers to me. And two other people have corroborated seeing the same thing in the same, not just the same vicinity, but the same area of that parking lot. That's not a small parking lot.
Pointed Stick said that the Tropicana is on schedule to be imploded. So if you guys got work to do over there, hurry up and get it done.
I'll be
Oh,
there in
snap.
March.
Really? Oh,
He had just typed
interesting.
that in the chat.
Is
Yeah.
it closed?
I wonder why.
It's probably not that quick to be imploded. I
Jeez.
go back on YouTube and watch those old implosion videos. It's amazing to see. I mean, people from all over the town come to watch it, and it's like sometimes they shoot off fireworks, and it's like it is kind of sad when you see something like the Revere or whatever go down. But yeah, it's like you can
Wow.
find those on YouTube. The old implosions. They always implode the other ones. Circus is on the list too, because it makes more room for. Tropicana's probably getting nailed to make more parking for the stadium. I
Yeah.
don't know.
There is a body worn camera where the cop. I gotta find it. I don't know if I have it in my history or in my watch list, but anyway, there's a body worn camera where a cop is talking to another cop that's just showing up on the scene, and he says, "Watch that cone. Don't touch that cone. There's casings under the cone." And
I think I remember seeing that video.
Yeah, and he's right over by the Tropicana.
Yeah. So, I mean, pieces of metal all you want, but it's not just me.
Tropicana's scheduled to be a
others.
baseball park, he says.
Like
softball park, or are we talking like professional ball stadium, PS?
I think it's supposed to be a professional baseball stadium.
They're raking in the tourism money with these stadiums they're doing. They got the Raiders out of Oakland. Okay, Joe.
All right,
yeah,
Joe, thanks for coming
we can
on.
talk forever. Thanks for coming on, and you have a good night.
Thank you,
You
Joe.
too, everybody. Thanks for everything. Talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. All right. Well, thankfully, we finally got him on. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I wanted to let everyone know that the 11 minutes he kept talking about, there's a link in the description of this video to the trailer for it. And it's also, there's a link to Paramount Plus, is who has this. It's like a 4-episode series, and they have a free trial for a week. If you haven't seen it and you want to watch it, the problem I had with it is I had to watch it on my TV because I couldn't get it to work on the computer. And there was a lot, even though it's narrative pushy, there was quite a bit of footage in there we hadn't seen before that the survivors on the show must have provided them. And I wanted to do screen grabs. So Edward Stairs says he's going to try to pull it up on his computer and do screen grabs just of those, things of, the shooting footage. Pointed Stick had tried to play and they nailed him. I mean, right away, boom. So none of us can screen record the whole movie and play it without Paramount Plus getting us, but I don't think they'd notice if we just had footage that the survivors gave them, because how would they know we got it off their show?
Right. So that's the thing about like when you're talking, showing somebody else's video, you have to pretty much every 10 to 20 seconds, you have to pause, talk over it, that kind of thing in order to not be copyrighted. So if you play it for any more than, probably 20 seconds, I wouldn't even go that long, 10 seconds, even if you just do a brief pause and then continue to play it, or talk over it at the same time, that's how you get away with that copyright stuff.
Well, I've got a lot of stuff throughout the years that I've actually flipped to unlisted because I had other YouTubers like going through my other stuff and then getting a hold of the survivor and saying she stole your crap and da-da-da-da, and just too much drama like that. So some of this stuff I've got is actually flipped unlisted because I was getting nailed by YouTube, and they'll take your channel if you have 3 strikes. So, that's the thing. It's like you always have to be careful of that too.
Yep, for sure. All right, I'm going to move forward. I'd like to try to keep these a little shorter than 4 hours, but
yeah, we don't want to go real long either. And Matt's got a bunch of stuff to go through. Also, you guys, if you didn't watch the other live streams, in the description of this is a link to the FBI vault and then a link to the Stephen Paddock report. It's 300 pages. It was supposed to be 14,000. So we're hoping more will drop. But those 2 links, if you want to read about all that, and that's new information that just came out in October. So those links are in the description too. Okay, go ahead, Angelica.
All right, I'm going to start off with Gio Rios. This is a little shorter version of it. He's just pretty much talking about the Tropicana here. Will you give me permission to screen share? Hold on.
Yeah, I think you just put it up, and then once you put it up, I click on something, and it'll go to the screen.
Okay. Let's see.
They
Present.
changed the way it is. It doesn't say screen share. It says present.
Yeah, I got it. All right. Let's see. Going into that. Share audio. And that. All right. And can you see Gio Rios right now?
You will be as soon as I add them to the stream.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Go
right.
ahead and hit the little
see
thing
him.
that makes it go full screen.
Okay, we'll do.
Happening across the street, and we hear shots coming from like Hooters, MGM area. Over there, there were shots coming from over there, and there were shots going from Mandalay Bay. Sorry, my brother's girlfriend's getting home right now. So shots were going from Mandalay. They were really deep, really far, and then you can hear like a hey, Rocky. So we're hearing multiple shots now, and this was our first encounter to multiple shots. And we're running across the street, and there's a parking lot, Tropicana parking lot. And so we go into the parking lot, and she's can't breathe, she can't see. So I get her behind the car, and the shots are still going off, and people are around us, and they're noticing how much of an attack she's having, and they just wanted to comfort her. And there was an elderly lady who actually approached us, and she helped comfort my girlfriend. And so thank you to you as well. Like I said, thank you to everybody who was there and helped everyone. Shots fired in Tropicana Casino, and everybody's freaking out. And her and I, we heard them. They were like, they were totally different. They were actually ARs, and they were suppressed. And there were 3 bursts. 3 bursts inside the Tropicana Casino. People who were there inside will tell you that there was that, and that happened, and it was confirmed via those people that were in there. People are saying there's shots at Bellagio. I wasn't there. I can't tell you, but I was at Tropicana, and I did hear those shots. And we ran out to the day pool area, and we hid in the cabanas for 30 minutes. We did hear the shootings, and I didn't see them, but I heard them. And if I was in the casino, who knows if I would have been able to tell the story right now. All I know is that the burst of shots were very quick, and they didn't last long. They were not 15 seconds long like the Mandalay Bay shooter was. They were very short bursts, and it was almost as if they just wanted to get a few shots in and then quickly get out, because they knew that police were going to be there like that, because the streets were filled with, they were on lockdown. Everything was done. Now we're running through this alleyway. There's an alleyway, and there's a fence with like electronic stuff in it, and then across from it there's a big industrial trash can. And then if you keep going down the alleyway, there's a parking structure. And so now we're running, and then what happened, Ben? There were shots? Where? From New York, Excalibur area. We heard shots and saw them, the muzzle flash, literally outside. It wasn't inside. It was not inside. It was outside. And the shots were coming, literally, they were going towards our direction, towards the parking structure at Tropicana. I threw her behind the pillar, and I said, babe, stay low. Like, we need to take cover. I'm just saying that Tropicana shootings we heard, and the New York Excalibur, I'm not sure which one it really was, but it came from that direction because it's across the street from the parking structure at Tropicana. If you look it up on the maps, you'll see Tropicana. You'll see the parking structure, and you'll see New York, and Excalibur. So we saw the muzzle flashes, and it was about 2 bursts. That's the time where I felt it was okay. I was safe. I was in a trash can. Nobody had seen us. We were okay for the time being. So I wanted to let my family and friends know because I was getting calls. My phone battery was at like 10% when the whole thing started going down. So when I posted the status on Facebook, I was at like 7%. Helicopters are flying. There's 2 helicopters. The lights are flying around everywhere. And at this time, the shooter's already dead. You know, they had already announced that the shooter was dead. My dad texted me, said they got the one shooter, and they were still going around in the helicopters for hours. The whole time we were in the trash can, there was a helicopter flying around. Why? Why were they flying, and why were they shining lights on like Excalibur, New York area? Because that's all we could see. We're under cardboard boxes, but we could see out of a little window, and the helicopter had its light, and it was going around Excalibur, New York area, like New York. And so if they only got one shooter, why were they flying around for the whole time while we were in the trash can? And I don't know when we got inside, further on in the story, once we went to the other place where we went to, I don't know how long they were flying, but if they were flying there all night, why? Why were they flying all night? You know, if they got one shooter and they knew it was one shooter right away, why were they flying the whole entire time? You know, it makes no sense to me. So that's kind of a concern for me. They're trying to say that it was one shooter, and if they really truly believe that, why do they have helicopters going around? Like, they know that there was multiple shooters. They know that the New York Excalibur shooting was right outside. It wasn't inside. It was outside. We saw the muzzle flashes. You know, Tropicana was inside, like the casino area where they were trying to direct everyone, but it was very short. So that by the time the police got there, the guy was already gone. So those are the 3 that I can personally myself confirm. And I know what bullets sound like. I know what shooting a gun sounds like. I have a gun. I also am getting an AR right now. But I've shot my buddy's AR, Curtis, and we've done extensive shooting. I mean, I know what it sounds like when shots are going off, and I know what echo sounds like too. They didn't let anyone into their hotels because they were clearing every single room of every single hotel, which, by the way, if there's only one shooter, what are you doing that for? So now we're back at our hotel room, and I got my phone on the charger, and we turn on the TV. The TV's on. We're listening to it, and then they say 2 are confirmed dead and 20 are injured. What was your reaction, babe?
Much more than that.
It was much more than that. 2 and 20? Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. We had already seen from the front line where we had initially got the shots, there was at least 20 that went down around us, and not all of them are probably dead, but a lot of them are wounded, and some of them might be dead, you know? But I don't want to think about that. And I don't want to talk about it like it's light, because it's not a light intake. It's very, very heavy. And so they said that, and I was really upset. And then it said, if you have any information, if you have anything to say, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. And that's what I did. I called FBI. They recorded the whole entire message, and the lady was typing. I could hear her typing everything that I was saying. And I told her about the guy with the suitcase. I told her about the shootings at Tropicana. I told her about the shootings outside of New York Excalibur. I told her about the Mandalay Bay shooting and the fireworks. I told her about everything. Okay? So they know, and they have my number, they have my name, and they have my home address. So I let it out there for them. And at that time, I didn't think that I had anything really to worry about. But the next day, I had to tell the story. I had to tell everybody. And, you know, we saw the windows busted out in Mandalay. I stayed up that night until Trump went on and he spoke. He spoke at our time. It was 7:30 a.m. and I was awake until then. And I heard him speaking, and I turned it, and I went to sleep right away because it wasn't right. It was a terrorist attack. It was a terrorist attack. Okay. I just want everybody to realize what happened last weekend, exactly 1 week ago, was a terrorist attack. It was group organized. It was choreographed. And I don't want anyone thinking that it was a one-person shooter. Time of the last shots. The last shots that I heard were at New York Excalibur, and that was a little bit before I posted the status on Facebook. So I don't have the exact time on hand right now, but if you go back to my my status that I made on Facebook saying that I was fine to my friends and family, it was probably, I want to say 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes before that, sometime before that. Yes, there were shots inside of Tropicana, and we heard them inside the casino area where they were directing everyone into. I did see muzzle flashes at the Mandalay Bay on a high floor. Come to find out, it was the 34th. I did see those muzzle flashes as soon as it started happening, but I never looked again because it was just too scary. But muzzle flashes at Mandalay and muzzle flashes in front of New York. Yes, there was different guns used in the attack. The one that was in Mandalay Bay was an LMG, and it was an M240 Bravo. That's what makes the most sense to me. There's other LMGs that it could have been, but those don't have the same range. There's only one other one that has a similar range to the M240. I personally do not have any military experience, but I have done training in firearm training classes, and I do have a firearm. I've shot many firearms, shotguns, ARs, you name it. Like,
Okay, so that's Gio Rios.
I put the link in the description of this video and also in the chat if anyone wants to watch the whole.
Have you heard of executive?
Sorry. All right. I'm just gonna move forward.
Oh, you are all right. Hang on, I'm gonna add it back to the stream. I didn't know if you were finished. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is call number 92 from the 911 calls.
October 1, 2017, 22:23 and 44 seconds.
911 emergency, Claudia 15687, police, fire, medical.
I just need some information. I didn't know where we should go because there's gunshots, and I just wanted to know where it was reported at, so we don't.
Where are you at?
We were at the Tropicana, and I think we were now at Casa Street at, I don't know, at the MGM.
Okay, and where did you hear the shots?
We were in Tropicana, and there were hundreds of people swarming like a stampede through the hotel screaming. We all went outside. They were terrified. And outside of the Tropicana, we could just hear automatic weapons going off. But I didn't know we don't know which way to go. So I was just trying to hope that you could tell us where the shooting was happening at so we don't run in that direction.
It's going to be, we're getting it from Mandalay Bay, I believe. So
from Mandalay Bay?
Yeah.
Okay, so was it at the concert?
We're still getting information, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I apologize, but we're getting several calls about this, so we're already out there trying to get everything figured out.
Okay, so we'll just avoid that area. Thank you. I'm sorry to bother you.
No problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. So now I'm going to skip to call number 76. This is a fun little way of doing it, but hey, that's all I got right now.
Day, October 1, 2017, 22:21 and 09 seconds.
911 emergency, Del Carlo 15805. Do you need police, fire, or medical? Hello, 911.
Hi there. Was just reporting a shooting at the Tropicana Hotel.
At the Tropicana?
Yeah.
Are you at the Route 91 Festival?
We're just across the road from that, I believe.
Okay. And there's now a shooting at the Tropicana?
Well, there's been a lot of confusion as the full hotel's been evacuated.
Okay.
And we're not exactly sure where the shooting is.
Okay. All right, sir. All right. Have you seen anything happen at the Tropicana?
We haven't. There's just a lot of people running around and obviously off with screaming too.
Okay. Okay, sir. What is your name?
It's Reese.
Okay. And are you injured?
No, we're all.
What's your phone number, sir?
It's a UK number.
that was deafening.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sir. We're getting officers and help out there, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're getting officers out there. Be safe, okay?
Okay.
If you see anything suspicious, give us a call back, okay?
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Sunday, T2:27 and 04 seconds.
911 emergency, Brown 15968. Do you need police, fire, or medical? Hello, where are you calling from?
We are stuck in the Tropicana after what sounded like a gunshot.
Are you still in the Tropicana right now?
Yeah, we are underground. I don't know exactly where.
All right, stay underground. Okay, ma'am, I'm sorry. Stay underground. We don't have the scene contained yet, okay? So please stay put, okay? Is anyone around you injured?
No, nobody's injured. It's just me, my mom, my sister, and the
Okay. Okay. Now, can you do me a favor, please? Did you see who the shooter was? Did you see?
No, we were at a concert. We had.
I know. Okay. All right. So yes, there was a large shooting. Okay. So you just need to stay there. We're trying to look for people, and there's a lot of people injured. So please stay calm, but please stay put. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
My mom wants to talk to you.
Hello. Hi, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. It's a very serious situation. We possibly have an active shooter where you are. Please do not move. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry this happened to you, but you got to stay calm. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and just don't go anywhere. Like I said, we're getting help as soon as we can. Okay. Just don't go anywhere.
Okay. We are in like a staff. It's like underground construction area.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's the best place to be. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. Just stay put, please.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Sunday.
I'm gonna keep going with this.
Mark, did you hear me? You didn't see who? Sir, we have help on. Yeah.
Let me try to figure out.
Of us here.
Yeah. Let me try to.
Brown.
Going from call 190.
Sunday, October 1, 2017. 22:37 and 28 seconds.
911 emergency, Winfield 15966. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
There was an active shooter at the Tropicana.
Yes. And are you at Tropicana? Where are you at?
I am not at the Tropicana.
Okay. Where are you? Were you anywhere near it? Are you anywhere by it?
No, I'm not. But I really need to know what's going on. I have people inside that I really care about.
Okay. All we're asking is that people stay as far away from Las Vegas Boulevard and Mandalay Bay and the Tropicana as you can, okay? And if you know anybody there and they're calling, if you can get there, tell them to call and get their exact location. That is the best they can do. We just need people to, as far as they can, hunker down and not go anywhere, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
22:37 and 32 seconds.
Hi. Yeah.
911 emergency, Aguirre 16086.
Hello?
Police, fire, medical. Do you need police, fire, medical?
We were part of the shooting in Vegas.
Okay, sir. Are you safe?
We're safe at the moment. Where are we at? Tropicana. We're in the 11th floor.
Okay,
we're
you're
safe at the moment.
Okay.
But we've seen people die. Shot in the head.
Sir, we have help on the way. Officers are out there. Medical's out there also, okay? Are you?
Okay.
Nobody's injured where you're at?
We're all safe at the moment, but I'm just scared because.
Okay, don't go out and call us back if you have eyes on the shooter, okay?
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Stay safe. Was there an emergency?
Yes, there's an emergency.
Okay, where are you at?
Excuse me.
Where are you at, ma'am?
Okay, and notice in this call the alarms are going off inside the Tropicana.
I can't hear you.
Who the hell room is this? Whose room is this? What room is it? 340. We're in room 340.
340, but what hotel? Hooters? Okay, and what exactly is going on?
They said it's shooting in the lobby in the casino.
In your lobby and casino?
Yes.
Who told you that?
I called already.
Hold on.
I called already. I
Hold on.
talked to him.
Okay, so is it happening at Hooters?
Yes, I'm not sure what's going on. Everybody's running and screaming.
Okay, but at Hooters, everyone's running and screaming.
Yes.
Okay, are you on the one on Tropicana?
No, we're not on Tropicana, are we?
Which casino? Are you at Mandalay Bay?
We are at Tropicana.
You're at the Tropicana. Okay, and what room are you in?
What room is this again? 340. Third floor, room 340.
Third floor. Okay, do you know if anyone's been shot?
Three of us in here. I have no idea.
Okay, do we know how many people are shooting?
Blood on the stairs. We do not.
Okay. Do we know where the person who was shooting, do we know where they were?
We have no idea.
Okay. Where are you at? Are you in room 340 right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Are you safe? Is anyone in your party injured?
Nobody in here is injured.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll have officers en route right away, okay? Call back if you see or hear anything different. Otherwise, just try to stay away from anything that you hear. What was your name, ma'am?
LaTasha.
Okay. All right. We're going to get officers out there.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
1017, 22, 54, and 10 seconds.
Hello? Hi, this is Metro Police on a recorded line. Someone dial 911. Do you have an emergency?
Yes, I'm just calling from the Tropicana room 5227. Does anybody know what's happening?
Right now we have several officers that are outside just looking to see what's going on. You're safe, but what's going on right now? There's something specific going on at the Tropicana, or you just held up in a room sheltering in place?
When we ran into the Tropicana, we saw people running out, so we heard that there was another shooter here.
Okay. As far as I know, I can tell you that there is no shooter at the Tropicana. But what I need you and everyone to do that's with you to just stay safe, stay where you are. If for any reason that you do hear shooting or do hear something, you need to do whatever you need to do to stay safe. I can't give you any advice on what to do, but just make sure that you're safe. So let everyone with you know that we have several officers out there trying to help everybody, and just stay safe. And like I said, just do whatever you can just to stay safe. Okay. Okay. Thank you. And do you have access to the news or anything like that? Do you have access to a TV? Okay. What I would like you to do, just keep the TV on, because I think that might help you, because it looks like the news is covering everything. So put the news on. If anything happens, dial 911. It might take you a little bit to get through to us just because we're swamped, but just stay safe. Okay. 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 Thank you. Bye-bye.
October 1, 2017, 23, 12, and 30 seconds.
911 emergency, Cribs 15955. Do you need police, fire, medical?
Yeah, is this Metro?
Yes, how can I help you?
Yeah, Metro, this is a reference to your active shooter. I have my niece who states that there's an active shooter now inside the Tropicana.
Okay.
I'm getting 2 reports from her mom in California. I just got off the phone with her like 2 minutes ago. She said she's okay. And then her mom just texted me and said, now there's an active shooter in the Tropicana. I have no further info or description for you.
That's okay. What is your name?
My name is Lisa, Lisa.
And your last name, Lisa?
Last is...
And what's the phone number for you?
Here it goes.
Okay. And who was it that called you? Your daughter? Your niece?
Yeah, no. It's actually my sister. Her name is Leslie. Her daughter MJ and her boyfriend and parents are on scene. They were at the actual concert when they took cover, and then they escaped over Tropicana. She said she was okay. And then, 2 minutes after that, I got a text saying that there's an active shooter now in the Tropicana. They're running for their life.
What is MJ's phone number?
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. Operator, paper. Stand by.
Okay.
Hang on. Okay. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Hold on. Hold on. She says, oh my God, she doesn't stop getting it. Here it comes.
Okay. All right. She didn't say where it was.
Negative. That's all the info that I have for you.
Okay. All right. Not a problem. We have all of our officers on scene. We're going to update that information. Okay.
Okay. And the person's name is MJ. Initial M is in Mary, J is in Joe.
Yep. I have it. Perfect. Thank you.
Copy that. Thank you.
Bye.
Route 91 concert.
May I help?
Seconds.
911.
Hello?
Yes, 911. How may I help you?
Yes. I have a friend at the Route 91 concert, and she just told me that the shooter is inside of the Tropicana.
Okay. Did you see them in the Tropicana?
This is what she just texted me and told me. Call 911. The shooter is inside of the Tropicana.
Okay. I understand that. I'm just asking if you know any other information on where in the Tropicana, because we do have a report of someone in there, but we don't know where.
Where at? I'm texting her right now.
Okay, where in Tropicana?
Yeah. It's all she says is call 911, Tropicana, shooter is inside. So I'm waiting for the text me back.
Okay. Could you get any other information from her? Is she injured?
I'm waiting.
Okay.
She just sent it about less than a minute ago. I'm closing down my bar at work, and I'm having on every TV, and I'm like, if there's any information,
That's why I'm not going to be able to do her. She's taking on the medical calls now. I'm not going to go her on the weekend.
She says that it's inside the hotel part.
Inside the casino or the hotel?
The hotel.
The hotel portion? Is there one area of the hotel or more?
They just passed her.
Do we know how many suspects? Just past her in the hotel part, Tina.
Okay. What do you want me to do? I'm just very, very nervous and low-key scared for her.
If we have, yep.
Can we just please get
We do. We have lots of units out there. We just need to know how many suspects are in the hotel part and what level, because that's a big area.
Gotcha. Hold on, talk to me, please. Okay, I'm just waiting.
I know you are. I know this is extremely stressful, and I'm sorry. I just need to know what level she might be at and how many suspects if she is injured.
Yeah, I got you. I'm waiting. I'm going to stay on the phone with you.
Yes, I want you to say, what is your name, sir?
My name's Navante. I'm a bartender here at Applebee's on Spring Mountain and Rainbow.
What's your phone number? Okay.
Yeah, and I've just been on every TV since it came on. I have a lot of friends down here. There's someone that texts me back really, really quick.
Yeah. And is there more than one person with this friend that's with them, or?
I'm pretty sure there's at least 5 or 6.
Okay. What we're trying to make sure is that we can get medical to people and know where the suspects of, course, and that they can shelter somewhere in safety is what we really are wanting. We want, of course, everybody to be safe.
She hasn't responded.
And do you know if she had a hotel room there that we might be able to go check on her?
She's a resident of the Vegas Valley.
Okay, so she might have just been running there to try to get away?
Exactly.
Okay. So no.
And then I know she's panicking because at this point, everything that she's typing, I have to make out to what she's saying.
And what is your friend's name that you're talking to?
It's Zoe.
Zoe? Z-O-E-Y?
Yeah, Z-O-E-Y. Yes, ma'am.
And do you have her phone number?
Yes.
She hasn't responded yet to you?
She hasn't responded. She hasn't responded. And I've sent like 12 different messages.
Okay, but we do have the information. We have let all the officers know that's out there, that your friends said that. Unfortunately, if you hear anything else, give us a call back on 911 so that we can go ahead and let them know any other information we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sunday, fire or medical.
I'm in the Tropicana. I need to know if it's safe to move around or if there's enough security in the Tropicana.
Where are you in the Tropicana?
We're hidden in a service elevator.
A circus elevator?
Yes, in a service elevator.
Service elevator. Okay, hang on one second, okay?
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Megan.
What's your last name, Megan? What's your phone number? How many people are in the elevator with you?
We're in the hallway to a service elevator on the 6th floor. There's about 20 of us. We go sit up here and we heard shots down.
Okay. How many shots did you hear? Can you count?
2 or 3 shots about 20 minutes ago. I'm not sure if it was shots or someone hit something that was metal.
Yeah, that's okay. And did you see anyone or just hear it?
We just heard it.
Okay.
We saw the shots at the fairground.
Okay. Well, we
sit here.
Yeah, and as you know, there's a major incident going on the strip, so I would just stay where you are right now. And
where we are.
If you feel safe, as long as you feel safe there. If you don't
feel safe.
Are you guys staying there?
No, I live here.
Okay. Does anyone have like a hotel room at all or no?
No. And we are too scared to get back to the elevator.
Okay, and you're in the hallway, right?
We're in the service elevator hallway.
Okay. Is there any door that locks over there?
No. We have doors barricaded.
Mhm. You have the door barricaded?
As much as we can.
You have like stuff blocking the door?
No, we have stuff blocking it, but we can't lock them.
Okay.
But we don't feel safe.
Okay. Is security there at all or no? Okay.
No.
I'll call security and let them know that you're there so they can come and get to you, okay?
Okay, thank
Just stay where you are. If something changes, call us back, all right?
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Sunday, October 1, 2017. 23:34 and 05 seconds.
911 emergency, Loriano 7485. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I think the police, my friend, I texted her to see if she's okay because she was at Route 91 with the shooter, and I said, are you okay? And she was call the police. The shooter's in the Tropicana Hotel, and she's in there.
We've got calls all over the place there, ma'am. How long ago did you talk to your friend?
Just now.
Just now we're on the phone. 2 minutes ago or something like that? Or
I'm sorry, what?
just try to determine the time lapse. Was it 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes? Give us an idea.
I texted her at 11:31, and she said at 911 Tropicana Hotel.
Okay. Do you know where she is at inside the property, or where inside the hotel she is?
I have no idea. She just said I'm inside Tropicana. The shooter was on my floor.
Have her call in 911 directly, please. Okay.
Okay.
Please. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Okay. Now I gotta jump to the next set. Watch data. Give me a second, guys. There's about 7 more coming in, that are really distinct with the Tropicana. I'll get through those and then we'll move on. And thank goodness I saved these into my watch later list, because otherwise it would be pain in the butt. Probably pain in the butt now. Oh, yeah. Got to go to the right channel. Because I did so much with my Angelica Gretchen channel, and then I created the 9/11 Awaken Angel channel, just so
you should switch the videos over to the 911 channel, or did you already do that?
No, they're just, I have them in my Angelica Gretchen watch later list. I haven't put them in my, because it's kind of a pain. That's the thing, is like when you're trying to research this stuff, you know, when you just start, you know, type it in the search engine, it, you know, it's not very helpful. It's a real pain. So yeah, let's get to this group of calls. And thank goodness for Las Vegas Shooting Archive channel. He's amazing, doing all this work. All right, so now we're looking for call number 589. Plus, I'm looking at a blurry thing here at the bottom. Give me a second.
October 1, 2017, 23:08 and 32 seconds.
911 emergency, Roger, this 15978. Can you please fire medical?
No, no, with the shooting. Did you
see the shooter?
No, there's a bunch of people are coming right where we are.
Where are you at right now?
Where's the Tropicana?
Where in the Tropicana?
I don't know. Where are we? Try to, look in the furniture by the garage entrance. It says M on the wall to the elevator.
How many people are with you?
It says to casino level, and it says M. There's 1, 2, 3, 5.
Is anybody injured?
No. Is anybody injured? No. No.
And nobody saw the shooter?
No. Well, they said they did, but they were running from them.
Okay, can I speak to somebody who may have seen the shooter?
Did you see the shooter? No, this one. They said no. No.
Okay. I need you guys to stay wherever you feel safest, okay? We have all of our resources out there. I know. I can't tell you where that is either because I'm not there, okay? We have, you know, all of our help out there. I just need you guys to stay wherever you feel safest. If you need medical, give us a call back, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Scott? What emergency?
23:09 and 12 seconds.
911 emergency. Smith, 6548. We need police, fire, or medical. 911 emergency. Hello?
We have an active shooter in the Tropicana. That's closet.
Where in the Tropicana, ma'am? Ma'am?
Robert Irvine. Robert Irvine.
Is that the restaurant?
Yes.
Can you see the person?
No.
How do you know there's an active shooter? What do you hear?
Okay, and where are you at?
Ma'am? What do you hear? Is Robert Irvine Restaurant in Tropicana?
Nobody's good right now.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I would stay there for now.
Ma'am?
Sunday, October 17, 23:14 and 41 seconds.
Metro Police, you have a recorded line.
I was just calling to see if I can get any information about the shootings going on because my mom's down there right now.
Okay, unfortunately, I have no information for you. Have you been in contact with your mom at all?
I'm on the phone with her right now. She's inside the Tropicana, but I'm sorry I called it. She just thought there was a shooter in Tropicana because they all just started running.
Okay.
So she thought there was a shooter in there, so I was just calling to let you guys know, but they said they stopped running, so I'm not sure, but I'll just check on that.
As far as I know, there is no shooter inside the Tropicana, but can you tell your mom just make sure that she keeps herself safe? What I would recommend is, is she inside of her room or where is she at?
No, she's in the main lobby. Mom, are you in the lobby in the Tropicana? They're like in a basement area.
Okay. Okay. So just let her know she needs to just keep herself safe in any way that she can. And as far as we know, there is no shooter inside the Tropicana. And we have several officers that are out there trying to get everybody out, trying to get everybody safe, trying to find all the victims and stuff like that. But honestly, we can't even tell you what all is going on. We're not quite sure. But just tell your mom, make sure that she stays safe. If she needs to, she can call 911. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And okay. Right. But let her know if she has to leave. If for some reason, like if she hears an explosion, if she hears gunshots, something like that, she needs to do whatever she has to do to keep herself safe, even if that means leaving. Just make sure that she, tries to, protect herself by making sure she doesn't get trampled over or anything like that. But I think just because of what's going on, people are scared and they're running and just running because they're scared.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Right,
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Know if we're safe here, or if we
71, 2017, 23, 17, and 19 seconds.
911 emergency. Saudi 15687. Police, fire, medical.
No, we're in the Tropicana. We need to know if we're safe here or if we need to move.
Okay. You need to shelter in place wherever you're at. Can I get your location?
We're at the Tropicana in the kitchen.
In the kitchen?
I think so. Off of the ballroom by the pool.
Okay, hold on
one second.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up the call here. Is anybody with you injured?
No. We just don't know what to do.
Okay. Okay. And you guys are hiding where?
And there's some or something.
I'm sorry, your phone completely cut out when you said that. Where? I can't hear you, ma'am. I'm sorry, you said Tropicana. Okay, I got that, but where?
Yes. In the kitchen. In the kitchen, off of the ballroom.
How many people are with you?
I don't know, there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 14.
Okay, about how many would you say? Just guessing, a total.
It's 14.
And no one's injured, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, did you see or hear anything?
Well, we were out. They told us to leave the place we were. We went outside, and then somebody said they were gunshots again, and we ran. Now someone's saying there's a shooter in the Resort Casino, and we don't know what to do. I mean, the Tropicana.
Okay, what's your first and last name and phone number?
Lisa.
Okay, we're still getting several calls about an active shooter. I'm going to advise you guys to shelter in place until we give you the go-ahead that it's all clear, okay?
Okay, can I give you another number in case my phone dies?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they in this hotel?
We don't know what's going on yet right now, ma'am. We're still getting information. We're getting several calls from different people and different hotels. So you can give us a call back in a little bit. I'm sorry, I know that's not what you want to hear, but we're working as hard as we can, okay, to make sure everyone's safe.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you.
1, 2,000.
Did we lose Angelica?
Inside the truck. You just said.
Fire or medical? 911 emergency, Arnold 4563. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
This is a shooter inside the Tropicana. Do you guys know this?
Is there somebody shooting right now?
One of the persons with me just said that she called her husband from my phone and said there's a shooter inside the Tropicana.
Okay, yes, sir. We emergency. Hello? 15683.
Yes, I'm right here.
Police, fire, or medical? So sorry about that. Yes, sir. We actually have the call already. Are you there at the Tropicana? Or is this?
I'm outside. We're outside.
My husband's out in there.
Okay, but you're outside the Tropicana?
Avenue. We're off the Tropicana Avenue, yes.
Okay, 1 second. Do you have access to your husband?
No.
Okay.
They locked him up someplace.
Okay.
There's a shooter in the casino.
Okay. So, yes. So we do know that, and we have officers on scene. So, as long as you're not shot, then we have all the information we need. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna play 2 more. And let's see. Go to next group. 911 call. Sorry, I muted myself there for a second because I heard it was echoing. So get rid of that echo. Let's see, we're looking for 805.
19, 23, 30, and 56 seconds.
Mr. Please tell. Yeah, hi. Next one is there in the Tropicana. Yes. Hear gunshots?
Yes. Where is he at?
He's on the 21st floor.
21st floor. And is he injured?
No, he is not. But he said to start at the top. He's in the club. Let me read the text messages.
Please, thank you.
The club building.
Okay.
He's on level 21. You can hear his shots above him.
Hold on, let me mute myself again so we don't get that echo again.
How many minutes ago did you hear the shot?
I just texted 11:26 was the last time I.
So 11:26, so 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Time last 5. How many shots did he hear? Do you know?
He just every once in a while he hears like a few shots. He hears a pop.
Okay, and do we have any idea how many people? Yes, please. And while you're doing that, what is your name?
Tom.
And your last name? And your phone number, if we get disconnected, is... Hi, this is Metro. We're doing the...
He can't hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, let me see. I'll put you on speakerphone. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, it's Metro. We have everybody working diligently to get to you guys that are in shelter in place. Is anybody with you injured?
Nobody with me injured.
Okay, how many people are with you? 6? And no injuries. Do you guys have any information on suspect? I can't hear him, Tom.
Okay, he hears the shooting. Either you hear it below you or above you? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so is it below you or above you? Below.
Okay, tell him that we are doing the best we can. Right now we have to get to the people who are injured, and then we're getting to the people who are sheltering in place. Okay? I just updated where he's at, and as soon as we get all the victims, then we are going to go ahead and get out there to the people who are sheltering in place, okay?
But they're shooting when he's at, so...
Right, we're there already. we're getting to we need to get to the victims who are bleeding out, and we need to get the suspects down, and then we're going to get to everybody who's sheltering in place.
Okay, so what do you want to say, guys? So you're in the building, the club building, 21st floor. And you're in the building.
Okay, thank you. Yes, yes, I just updated it. Okay. All right, thank you.
Sunday, October 1.
Okay, Angelica, I think, is buffering. She was having computer problems earlier.
Yeah, give me a second. One more. It's 9:59, and then we'll be done with these 911 calls, and then I can just show my videos of where a shooter could have been at the Tropicana up on the roof. Let me mute this again, and I'll go to 9:59.
Tropicana for the past. The Tropicana. You guys.
My God.
It's really bad.
1, 2017, 23:57 and 53 seconds.
911 emergency, able 14859. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
I believe police. So my friend Jesse and Oksana are at their location is. Sorry, I'm downtown. I'm calling for them because they have really bad reception on their phone. They're under the bridge in the outdoor area of Tropicana. They said they ran through the water and they're tucked up underneath, and the reception is really bad under there. And they were asking if they can get somebody to go get them.
Do we know where they are?
They just texted me right now saying that they're under the bridge in the outdoor area of Tropicana. Is there police over there? Is there people over there? They just said that their reception is really bad and they can't get a hold of you guys because they can't call people.
I would need a more specific location. I would need a cross street with Tropicana or maybe a.
Let me ask them right now. Asking for a cross street. Sorry, I'm calling for them. They asked me to call you guys because they just can't call people or their reception is horrible.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, because all they gave me was they're under the bridge in the outdoor area of Tropicana. So I'm just waiting for them to give me cross streets right now. What? They just said the Tropicana Hotel. So I'm assuming Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Okay, so they're at the Tropicana. Are you able to tell me kind of what's going on?
They said that they ran away from the shooters, that they've been hiding under the on Tropicana for the past couple hours, that they've experienced explosions going on and hearing them, and they just said that they're trapped there, they don't have reception, and they just need somebody to go get them.
Are you able to tell me kind of where they are? Are they in the front of the building, the back of the building, they're outside, are they inside?
They said that they're outside. They're in the outdoor area of the Tropicana, hiding under the bridge.
And how many people are with them?
Let me ask them right now. It's the outdoor area in the back middle of the hotel. That's what they just said.
So the rear of the building?
Yeah, it said the outdoor area in the back middle of the hotel. And then I'm asking how many people are with them right now.
What is your name?
My name is Stephanie.
And your telephone number?
It's going to be, and he said it's just, my friend said it's just him and his girlfriend. My two friends, it's going to be Jesse and Oksana. It's just the two of them.
Okay, and you said... Okay, so it's going to be towards the rear of the building under a bridge?
Let me just ask them. Let me triple check. You said rear building under a bridge?
Yeah. Is that correct?
Let me double check with them.
Okay.
They said it's just all loud. All I hear is helicopters rushing
Right.
and
There's lots of commotion going on, yeah.
yeah. And she said yes, rear building under the bridge. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. I have this set up, okay, so we'll try to get out there as quickly as we can. Can he see or hear anything else? Does he see anything else?
Let me ask him. And they said that they're tucked way up underneath, and I'm asking what is around you, right? They said the water.
Okay. All right. I have the call set up. Okay. We'll try to get out there as quickly as we can. But like I said, we do have a lot going on. So
Yeah, I totally get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sunday, October.
Okay, now I'm gonna play the videos I went to the Tropicana myself. You know what Joe and I were talking about earlier. With the where the shooter could have been, shooting from that lower roof area of the Tropicana. Sorry, I thought I had this queued up, but apparently not. Towards the end of my list here. Okay, so I'll play the one at night and then I'll show the one in the daytime so you get a better perspective. Okay, on the roof of the Tropicana again. And just give me 1 second. Let me turn off mute myself in StreamYard so it doesn't. And this is where our roof runner was spotted. You can see there's some pipes down there. Easy to jump over, run along the roof. And then, just on that other side. Sorry, I'm a little winded. I just ran up this flight of stairs. But if you were shooting from this roof, you've got direct access to the Excalibur, the Luxor, and across the street to the right is the New York. So this is the roof level. Tropicana. Got this railing here. That'd be nothing to jump. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump it because I'm wearing a dress, and would have liked to have done this earlier but didn't get a chance. Anyway, there's this gangplank that runs along. You can see the roof level here. Just on that other side of that roof is the concert venue for Route 91, also known as Las Vegas Village. So, anyway, easy access. You can just run right along here, and it leads right out to parking lot. Which is the parking lot Joe Napoli ran through. Many others. Joe Napoli saw some casings in the parking lot here, somewhere here where it opens up. And that's the church and where he ran through. You can see right between the tanks. There's the fuel tanks back there. But yeah, could have easily ran through here and jumped in a car and escaped. And as you can see, as I come down, there's like nobody around, especially at night. During the day, there's more activity, people loading in and out and such. But this time of night, as you can see, there's no one around. Really dark back here. No cameras on the roof here. The stair access to the roof, and there's no cameras back here at all. I don't see one. Anyway, come on down here a little bit. You can see, again, like I'm saying, there is nobody around. Super quiet back here. So would have been a great place to park your car, run up these stairs, climb onto the roof, and start shooting some people. So as you can see, this is parking. I fell in a hole. This is parking lot 4, the back side of the Tropicana. There's the Oyo, also known as the Hooters Hotel. But nobody back here. Super dead. Super dead. Nobody back here. See if I can brighten it up at all. Anyway, but yeah, these are the stairs that lead up the back of the Tropicana. See where I'm at. Parking lot 4. And right across the street is the Catholic Church. Just to focus. There we go. Catholic Church, Mandalay Bay. Our shooter could have been up there on that roof. You know, easy. Could have accessed it right here by this ladder staircase, and then laid across the top of this roof, and then shot into the crowd over there. So, we should definitely shoot by the Catholic Church there. My camera does not want to focus. Anyway, there it goes. Anyway, this is the way Joe Napoli and his family and friends ran. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Angelica, you know you're muted.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if you knew. I didn't know if you were talking.
No, not talking. I'm going to just go into the one in the daylight so you can get a better perspective of what it looks like daytime. This is the daytime version, so you can see it a little better. Hold on. Let me mute myself so it doesn't echo.
I am on the roof of the Tropicana where our roof runner was. Looks like he probably was right around that corner there. But as you can see, it was pretty much nothing for me to get up here. I just basically walked up here. No cameras anywhere. There were some employees at the bottom of the staircase, which I'm about to go back down. But nobody stopped me. Nobody asked any questions. But basically, you just come on up and you go on down. Nobody says shit. And this little roof access leads out to a parking lot in the back where Joe Napoli saw casings. So anyway, as you will see, this is a parking lot where Joe Napoli ran through casings. Be interesting if he was here to show me exactly where. But anywho, just basically go on down the steps or come on up the steps. You gotta watch out for the bird poop. But yeah, here we go. Alright. So that was the roof of the Tropicana. I believe somewhere in this area is where Napoli saw casings. So I'm walking towards the church. Where the back side to the left is Melissa Ramirez. Her side is. Anyway, Mandalay's over there. Tropicana. That's where I just was. There. Pretty easy peasy. Nobody's watching. Security here in Vegas kind of sucks, if you ask me. Alright, talk to you later, guys.
I gotta quit smoking. I was super winded when I ran up those stairs. And that was the first time I did it, so I was a little nervous too. So adrenaline pumping, running up the stairs, trying to be quick about it all. The second one, the one at night, I was a little calmer because that was the second time I did it. But yeah, there's no cameras back there at all on the back side of that building over the parking lot. And as you could see, no one stopped me, questioned me, did anything. So
just goes to show you how safe it is out there.
Oh yeah, super safe.
Yeah, easy access to everything.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So other than that, I was gonna go into my Google Photos here, and sorry, I'm having to look at my people's ugly mug. Not so ugly. That's my beautiful son on the right.
What happened to his head?
Oh, he was painted like Spider-Man. That's really bad.
Oh, like Halloween. Okay, I thought he had a really bad accident. I was
No,
like,
it's
oh,
like
you beating the kid?
No, that's what's wrong with this generation. You can't beat them. But no, that's Spider-Man. It's really bad face paint. But anyway, so
How old is your son?
He's 11. He's going to be 12 in December. I have 3 kids. One's 24, one's 20, and one is 11. I'm 12. So yeah, it kind of really upsets me when people say that there was no one got killed, no one was injured. These are just some screenshots that I did out of videos, over, I don't know, the past 5 years. But yeah, Napoli was talking about,
That looks horrific.
yeah, and if you zoom on any of this and the leg crossing and the arms over the chest, that's how they notify other, paramedics or such that they've been checked. But these are bodies. These aren't mannequins. These, this is blood.
Well, you can tell in the live leak video they're not mannequins. Some of these people, have showed up in other videos closer, and it's like they're dead people. It's really sad.
Exactly. So yeah, and it kind of upsets me when people say that kind of stuff. And here's more of a perspective. We've all seen this girl squatting down here in the bottom right. She's kind of, if you want to say, smiling, laughing, talking. And people are like, oh, why would you be smiling, laughing, talking? If there was all this carnage going on. As you can see on the other side of this wall, that there's a lot of carnage that has happened, and yet everybody reacts differently. I'm the type of person, I've been in some pretty traumatic experiences myself. Had people die right in front of me, and my way of coping is kind of a nervous response, more than anything is I kind of laugh or chuckle, but it's not that I'm laughing at the situation. It's just me dealing with it in my mind, and how I cope, and everybody copes and reacts differently. That's not fake. This isn't fake. The people's reactions, this reaction is kind of a pointing upward, and his back is to the Mandalay Bay. So something is, I'm not going to say it's a helicopter. Something's up there that he's pointing at and reacting fiercely to. You can see their eyes. Both of their eyes are looking in the upward position. This is from a body-worn camera. This is the lady that shot in the face that I think is the same one that Napoli is talking about. Unfortunately, it's blurred, but this here is her hand. It's about, there's not much I can do about this blurred body-worn camera, but you can see her hand is red. Again, hand red. This is the chin of the officer on the right. This is her hand to the left. Again, her hand, is bloody. She eventually will hear her grab this guy's shirt. There's a clearer shot. You can see the blood on her hand. And this is the lady that shot in the face. She obviously grabbed her face, and that's why the blood is on her hand. This is her hand grabbing the back of this stranger's shirt. Just a knee-jerk reaction. Probably like, kind of a get out of my way, I gotta go. This is as everybody is exiting from a body-worn camera. These pictures, I've got some buffering going on. Give me a second. I'm gonna close down some of this stuff up here, might help the buffering situation. Go back.
Seven Son, you never saw the live leak video? That shows up close deceased people and dying people.
Mm-hmm. This is after this guy has walked past her. Here's her hand down here in the bottom left. Again, the people's reaction, this girl's face, whoo,
We can't play the live leak on YouTube, Danny. They take it down right away. I mean, we've all got copies of it in our file that we send around in emails and stuff, but we can't put it on YouTube.
Yeah. And notice the body-worn camera time. This is 10:08, so the shooting's still happening at this point as this woman is escaping the venue. Again, her hand, she's blurred because, you know, her face has got a big hole in it. She's bleeding from her face. So, you know, this is them, you know, to the far left covering it, but this is her hand again. See these three girls' reactions, you know, pulling each other in. Oh my gosh, you know, just the reactions on the people's face as this woman is walking past them. You know, this woman just stops in her tracks, you know, complete shock as she sees this woman who's been shot in the face. You know, this guy's reacting to it. These people are reacting to it. You know, this girl's horrified as she sees this woman walking towards her, you know, who's been shot in the face. I mean, this, you can't make that kind of reaction up. Yeah, this is her face over here to the left. It's obviously blurred. Yep. The officer's just escorting her out. You know, this blurry redness, that's the bottom of her face. Again, the bottom of her face. Bottom of her face. Here's her hand again. Here's her hand again. You can see a little here, you know, this is the bottom of her face that's been shot. All the redness. Yeah, it's, you know, it's severely blurred, obviously, because they, you know, don't want us to see, you know, because we're not adults. We can't handle, you know, seeing a little blood. But, you know, horror movies, you can see blood all day long, you know, and some pretty horrific stuff, especially if you watch Saw or anything like that. But here's a straight on shot of her. You know, you can see all this redness. You know, definitely shot in the face. Again, shot in the face. This is about as clear as it gets. You know, you can see the blood here all around her mouth, her face. So it's from the, oh, okay, this is where I go into the Raymond Page video. And this is the guy who, you know, is kind of bald. He has a beard and he says, "I need an ambulance. I've been shot." Okay, so these are the still frames of this guy who needs an ambulance and he's been shot. I'm just saying it how he said it. I'm not making fun of anyone here. You know, you can see his hands. He's bloody. Again, they're lifting his arms up because he thinks he was just shot in the arm at first. But as you watch this video, you know, his whole arm here is covered in blood. He's been shot through his arm and into his chest cavity. So this guy who's, you know, I guess a makeshift medic is trying to see, you know, what's going on. You can see the blood drip, you know, so this isn't like something that was just painted on. So notice the drip here, you know, at what level it is. And then in the next frame, you'll see the blood drip go lower. You know, it's below the crease of his arm. We're in this last frame. You know, it's here at the crease. And then in this frame, the blood drips down. It's dripping down. Not something that's painted on. You know, his face, he's obviously in pain. You can see it's, you know, dripping down again. Further down in that shot. So this is where they start to lift up his shirt because at first they just think it's a gunshot wound to the arm. But, you know, he says he has a pain in his side here that, you know, he's not sure about. You know, notice the blood on his hand, his pants. And we're going to buffer. Goody, 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 gosh. Okay, there we go. Starting to lift his shirt up. This is where he starts to say, I've been shot in the side, I've been shot in the chest. Person's pointing at it here in this frame. The sheer look of terror in his eyes. Oh no, I've been shot in the chest. And as your adrenaline's pumping, it's amazing how pain, kind of numbs itself. It's just amazing, the human body. The look of terror in his face now that he realizes he's been shot in the chest. And what just happened with Alex Jones, he has to pay almost $1 billion now out to these families, and they're actually asking for more now, for saying that no one was killed, no one was shot, at the Sandy Hook. You can believe what you want, but you got to be careful what you say. This is affecting people's lives. If you don't believe anybody was shot or murdered, then, you might want to just kind of keep that to yourself and your close friends and family. I wouldn't put it out there in the world, until you've done some thorough investigating. Yeah, there's been some sketchy stuff, like the bald guy with the wheelbarrow, that makes you question things, but.
That was Brian.
Yep. So, but in reality, it's better to just kind of keep it to yourself. Until you're 1,000% certain. And with, incidents like this, there is no 1,000% certainty, especially when, they control the narrative and they tell you what they want to tell you. You get to only see what you want to see. You have to do things like what I'm doing right here, which is, screenshots of body-worn cameras. So this is an officer who, a few frames back, you see him carrying in the girl who was shot in the head. This is him actually carrying her into the hospital. So this silhouette, it's two officers, or maybe her husband on this side and an officer on the left side. But this is her body going across as they're carrying her into the hospital. You can see, the officer's got her leg, he's covered in blood. Her leg is covered in blood. Again, this is his hand over here to the right with a glove on, carrying her in by her legs. I'm just going to skip forward a little bit. These are body-worn camera blurred things, so it's kind of hard to see. But he's got blood on his back. He's got blood on his chest. He's got blood on his hand here. Again, covered in it. Taking off his gloves. Coming to the sink, washing his hands. You can see the blood in the sink and on his hands. Blood on his back, probably where she was gripping him. Again, blood on his back, washing the blood away. You can see it in the sink. On his sleeves. There are a lot of repeats here. You know, he's got it a couple different places here on his back. There were several, you know, many heroes that night. Some of the officers didn't do much, but some of them did. So, and these are Paddock laying on the ground. You know, this always concerned me, this middle bloody spot in his chest. Not sure what that's about. You know, the gun off here to the left above his head. I would have thought it would have fallen down this direction.
Angelica.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the when I was looking at this picture of Paddock, I saw chairs behind him. I thought it was the bar at first, but
no, there's these chairs. They're kind of weird. I think they probably were at the bar, but he moved them, or someone moved them over in this direction. You know, almost like, you know, hey guys, you want to sit back here and watch me shoot out this window over here to the left?
But look at how far away he is from the window.
Exactly.
He's a dead man in jammies, guys. He didn't do this.
I know, but I'm just saying, look, you know, if you look at this picture of him on the floor right here, and zoom out again, Angelica. All right, well, look at how far away he is from the window.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't
You can see the
necessarily
curtain.
have committed suicide right in front of the window.
Right.
No. I understand that. But there are other pictures of him being closer to the window.
Mm-hmm.
Over by that, the little round table and the pillar.
Exactly right.
Right. There's a lot going on in this photo. One, you know, if you're shooting way over here, because the window would have been way over here where my cursor is underneath this arrow. So, you know, that's where the window and the chair was. Okay, so you're shooting over here, right? So why are all these casings way over here in the middle of the room? They wouldn't have flown that far away. You know, they project outward and possibly out the window or towards the window, but not here, way above.
I gotta tell you, the pile of glass and the pile of casings look to me like someone took a box and just dumped them.
Right. And why are all these casings, you know, way over here, away from the window and scattered all over the place? You know, look at it. It's, you know,
they sprinkled them around in that 70 minutes that they had to get the room ready.
Right. So, you know, people running through them, kicking around, you know, or was there a shooting, you know, some kind of shooting going around, you know, on inside the room? You know, lots of things I noticed about this. You've got two glasses right here on the table. You know, if he's alone, why two glasses side by side? You've got this here next to the chairs, you know, which is...
don't forget the bipod over his leg after he's dead.
Yeah, I know. You know, and these
And then
chairs...
all the pillows stacked up from the couch.
Yep.
Hello, Atlantis.
Yep. You got these pillows stacked up. Which
Those are actually, those look like couch cushions.
Yeah, they're couch cushions. Absolutely. Which is, you know, a kind of a firmer platform, you know, and that I did a video about like possibly escaping outside this vent, you know, and, you know,
That vent looks a little too small to escape through, but who knows?
Someone went to the room and checked, and supposedly you can't fit a body in there. But I was like, pop it off. I want to see how big it is inside, and they wouldn't do it. But, you know, that was...
Now, what's that below that vent?
Not
right
sure.
There.
Yeah, some kind of AC access or access panel. Not exactly sure, but, you know, I did a whole video on this vent with, you know, and I even brought WAP Tech up in it. You know, I can play that too if you guys are interested after this, but...
Well, they didn't need to escape through the vent because we never got to see in room 134. And all the rooms in the hallway the body cam showed clearing, they were just waking people out of bed and having them leave and kind of taking a peek around the room. So it's like if there were other people involved in this, they could have been anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, plus, you know, if nothing else, maybe they were
Yeah,
fighting.
don't play Wappy because he could strike us.
No. No, I'm not playing Wappy. I'm just saying I talked about WAP Tech in one of them. You know, I was saying WAP. Anyway, But no, maybe hiding something in this vent. I'm not sure. Just really bizarre that these couch cushions are stacked up on the couch, right underneath this vent.
Well, the couch cushions, though, here's me playing devil advocate. If they were searching the room, they might have moved them over there because they did search the couch.
Mhm.
So they may have like moved them over there neatly so they didn't disturb other evidence that was on the floor that they needed to collect. So
Mhm.
that could have been the cops piling them up there.
Right. So why bring
Or
these
just a bad staging.
Yeah, and the three chairs, this one looks like it's been turned in, but to me it looks like he had an audience. 1, 2, 3 chairs with this, you know,
Well, I always wondered if he was like some of those video cameras were like, I'm not saying live streaming like how we're live streaming, but it's like it could have been going to like his partners.
right, exactly, for people.
Not his partners, because I don't think that's really the guy, but whoever was involved in this.
Yeah. And for the handgun, when you shoot yourself in the head, and number one, he didn't shoot like up through his chin, which is what typically suicides do. They'll hold it up under their chin and shoot through their chin. He didn't do that. It's, I guess, maybe in his mouth, but then shooting up at an angle through his mouth is kind of bizarre because you would like almost hold it straight back and
And where's all the blood spatter?
Yeah, exactly. So we're not seeing any blood splatter back here, or on the bar behind him or on the ceiling, and it's just a weird angle. If you were going to shoot yourself, like hold your mouth open and shoot yourself, into your mouth, it would have gone straight back, not upwards, which is what happens. It shoots upwards through, and messes up his eyeballs and stuff like that, and then the blood on his chest here. What is that about? Just that there's so many things that makes me do this is because of all the questions from the
A
go.
little bit got smeared when they moved this dead guy from the morgue to stage him in the room.
Right. And this weird streak of blood that's over here, to the side of him, what is that about? It's like,
Well, the cop rolled him over. There was that story. And Chris said something about the bullet not exiting. I did a bunch of research on that, and apparently they don't always exit when you shoot yourself in the mouth. So that's not that uncommon for the bullet not to exit, because I thought that was a weird thing too at first.
yeah. And all these casings up here so far away from the window.
Behave, Danny. He's threatening Michelle with a wrench.
All right. So we'll
Here, hang on a second. I'll give you a wrench too, Frosty. That way he can't zap you.
So
I thought you had one anyways.
Again, what is this blood on his chest about? It's not like, a drip down. This is more of a smudgy effect.
He could have cut himself on the glass and smeared his hand there. I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah, but he had gloves on. How could he cut his hand?
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. There's absolutely no way you're putting your finger in the trigger and bumping off like he did with his garden gloves on. It ain't happening.
Right.
It's just not.
Big old.
I mean, I wear those when I go out. I wear them all the time when I go do work in my yard. And like if I have scissors because I'm trimming, back my perennials or bushes or whatever, you could barely fit your little fingers in the scissors and clip it, so uncoordinated. So he wasn't doing all that shooting. That's they staged this dude in the room.
Right. And just the amount of blood that's covering his face, it's I could imagine if he was shot in the stomach or chest that he would be coughing up, and the blood coughing out and up would have covered the top part of his face like this is. And this is so dry, down here. And, it's still, I just question this whole, I mean, I get turning him over, but this, if you were over here first on the bottom right corner, this puddle would have been much bigger than this puddle. And headwinds are always big.
They did a bad job with staging, and my opinion is that they never thought there would be people scrutinizing this. They thought the pictures would flash across, the newspaper or TV or whatever, and people would move on like most people did. They didn't think there'd be people like us out there just totally ripping this stuff apart and really examining it.
Right. So we need to
And
put
they
a
weren't expecting
disclaimer.
that.
Yeah,
It's not the
disclaimer.
same ears either, Danny.
Yeah. No, and I'm not seeing any tissue. You know, the next couple shots are going to get pretty graphic. So warning, warning, warning.
Yeah, yeah, warning, warning. I hope we don't get struck down for being too graphic. But
So, you know, I'm not seeing the 13 on his neck, you know, here.
I don't think it was a 13. I think that was either photoshopped in or it was just a shadow or something.
Yeah, I agree. So again, no 13 here. You know, again, if he was shot in the stomach or something, you would cough up blood, you know, to create this amount of, you know, blood coverage that we're seeing here. You know, and again, I guess he shot up into his head, you know, because it's not really coming out, you know, the back over here, you know.
Wasn't there a video of him earlier in that day going into the elevator?
I think it was going. He was down at the casino that day. I think the elevator footage was different days, but I'm not positive. It's been
No, I remember seeing they were showing him the day of the shooting, waiting for an elevator.
Right.
Okay. Now, looking at this picture right here, he's got stubble all over his face.
Right. Like he hasn't shaved in
Right.
quite a few days.
In that video I remember seeing, if it was on that day, it didn't look like he had stubble on his face.
Right.
It's not him.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like him at all.
No. And even that one of him in the casino where he falls on the floor, you know, they got video, and then it pans to another video where he's in the back room. That doesn't even look like Paddock.
Yeah, the Cosmopolitan's actually Caesar's Palace Resort, right? It's not a MGM resort, right?
Where'd you pull this picture from, Angelica? Because a couple of them are saying they haven't seen it before.
Oh, good Lord, I don't know.
Send it to my messenger. Because I don't know if it's one that I already have blown up or not, but it's like, I don't remember.
Yeah, this is stuff way back in the beginning before they really started blocking stuff.
The ligature mark there, it's like he had the marks on the back of his legs and stuff, whoever it was.
Right.
Where it seemed like he could have been attacked.
Like beat down. Yeah, like you were standing and somebody would hit the back of your legs to make you get on your knees.
Somebody with a wrench zapped the Tinder sex person. There we go.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the end of. But yeah, you know, let me zoom in on this ligature mark. No.
Yeah, I think they pulled a dead body from the morgue and staged the room with it.
Absolutely.
They had to have a patsy to blame this on. This guy's probably on a beach somewhere, you know.
Yep, in the Philippines with Mary Lou.
Yeah.
We got some buffering going on. Yeah. So I don't know how long this has been going on. Let's see. Let me get back to this. It's not saying. Oh, 2:47. That's been a minute. Been a minute. Like Bitsko says, this guy's been dead for a minute. Let's see. Let me just keep going through this stuff. Once you guys are over it, and then I can move on. And we can shut this down. But yeah, I mean, don't talk to me about like not doing some research, because I have done some research over this stupid shooting. So, and these are some broken windows on the back side of the Mandalay Bay, away from the front, you know, which is the part they always show you. If I can get it to open.
Well, the narrative pushers were telling us those were vents, but they're not even like lined up neatly.
No, they're not vents, because
I can't imagine building that beautiful of a building and it's like, let's just zigzag ugly vents all over.
Yeah. I mean, you want me to show you? I got where I'm walking up on the roof of the Mandalay Bay, and there's no vent windows or whatever. Hold on, I got some buffering going on. Get a lot of that. So, okay, so we see that, right? Yeah. So, okay, boom, this is the backside, the Mandalay Bay. I've been all around that hotel up close.
I like the footage they had the next day flying around the Mandalay Bay filming stuff from a helicopter, and there was a forest there. And it's like the Mandalay Bay's not in a forest, so that was dubbed footage.
Right. So this is from the helicopter footage. These are police, like SWAT gear, SWAT team, and these are the Muslim women that they found hiding, and they got their hands up there. Sorry. Ooh, apparently this isn't just Vegas. Hold on. Let me get out of that. So this is Kimberly Joe Snyder. Anyway, she was suicided, I believe.
Yes, she was. Well,
so they were
she was with my friend Rick in that group, and they were all kind of,
Yeah. The farther we got from the venue, the closer the gunfire got. I kept looking back, expecting to see gunmen, and I say men because there was more than one person. There was more than one gun firing, 100% more than one.
She was with the group of 5. She was with Rick, and they actually were ones hearing it chase them. Mm-hmm. And also when everyone says there was no firecrackers, they were all sitting there watching the concert, and they saw the guy light off firecrackers, and Rick got pissed because he was with the 4 girls, and he's like, we're moving, get your boots on. And before the girls even had their boots on, the shooting started. So Rick's theory was always like those fireworks might have been a signal for the shooting to start, because they actually literally, he was pissed. They're like, what's this person doing this in the middle of a crowd for? And he made the girls get their boots because he was moving them to a different spot.
Right. Well, there's also the bartender's testimony where she said no one ever talks about, there was like 5 shots that went off right in front of her bar. That kind of like hit the ground right in front of her bar before, anyone talks about the shooting. So that might have been where people thought they heard fireworks or were just chalking it up to fireworks before the shooting started, the volleys. And she said there were single shots. I have to, if you guys want proof of that, and I guess I could probably find that too. A lot of this I didn't keep because I just, so many people were covering it. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, it's good now because it's like revisiting stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of people did research, and it's like when you share other research, it's like when you put that picture and a bunch of people in chat were like, oh, I didn't see that before. So you never know who's out there that's been researching that you could actually put a little piece together for them, of something they've been working on.
Right. Yeah, I got some. It's not one to load. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see. We got Paddock in the elevator, supposedly. A lot of these timestamps don't add up either.
Well, the important stuff doesn't have timestamps on it, and that's extremely suspicious to me.
Right.
It's hard to place something when there's no timestamp, and makes you wonder when it was actually taken.
Right. This picture here is very powerful to me. That's the level of grip as somebody is pulling someone up off the ground. Just, with the Route 91. Got some stuff mixed in here that's not.
Yeah, we're gonna see naked pictures of Angelica's husband soon.
I don't know.
She's got her personal stuff mixed in here.
Yeah, no. no. I think that did happen. I was on a live stream with oh gosh, that one lady who's now passed away too. But yeah.
Nene?
Yeah, Nene.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of researchers. We lost Ouija, Nene, Jay Gunderson.
Right. So this is a picture of the trash can inside of Paddock's room with all the empty boxes of the ammunition that he loaded inside the room. So, if he didn't come prepared, he was loading the magazines inside his room. And this should have all been evidence too, fingerprint these boxes. And what they said, in their narrative was that Mary Lou Danley's fingerprints were on the guns, on the bullets, on the box.
Actually, they didn't say that. What her lawyer, when he came out and gave the statement, the story was that Mary Lou, I don't know if his lawyer said this or if the cop said this, but Mary Lou said it was possible that her fingers may have been on some because she helped him load magazines at home, but she never specified that she helped him load these magazines from those boxes.
Okay. So if you're loading magazines at home, then, there's a ton of boxes in this trash can.
Right. He loaded some of those there. Yeah. Well, he had suitcases full, or they staged suitcases full.
There you go. There's a suitcase full, as you're speaking of it. And why over here by the chairs? Why not over by the window? If your ambition was to go shoot out of the window and shoot as many people as you possibly could, then when you have the suitcase,
we question their staging job.
Yeah, when you have this suitcase over by the windows that you're shooting out of, plus you got this blue tube, that was supposedly his air tube because there was going to be so much smoke in the room. So this blue tube that wraps between the chair and the luggage and, ends up over here, next to the two chairs that are pushed together, which, bring in your stage body, your dead body from the morgue, or was Paddock, gassed in his bed while he was taking a nap, and then they just hauled him over here to these two chairs. But this blue tube that's supposed to be his airway, or his oxygen, because the room he knows is going to get so smoky, but yet
and the alarms would have gone off. And
exactly. No alarms going off during.
You would have seen the flashes.
Exactly.
Because there was that one video when they breached the room. There's a one video of that officer that was on, I don't know what street that was, but it was right in front of the Mandalay Bay, or not in front, but you could see them. You could see the Mandalay Bay clearly, and you could see the flashes from the fire alarms.
Right, and hear it. So
yeah, and you don't see it when the shooting was going on.
Right. So, and these were the guns that he was shooting out of the secondary window. I guess, I don't know. I don't remember the name of the number of the room, but, you're laying.
134.
Yeah. So these are smoking hot guns, right? And he's having to throw them down because they're so hot or jamming. So you're laying them on this white comforter. There's absolutely no burning or smudging from, these guns being shot.
Yeah, well, same on with those two chairs that were pushed together to look like a bathtub.
Right. Or a good place to lay a body.
Yeah.
So, and here's an extra glove, that black gardening glove that he was wearing, to go, shoot because he's such a professional. He's going to, wear these big frumpy gloves. That's going to be really hard to get your finger in.
That's why I don't wear gardening gloves, because you can't feel anything.
Yeah. So here's another, piece of luggage with some more magazines in it. And this is over by the chairs that are pushed together again. Nope, sorry. That's the Vegas Village. Okay, so... So he was shooting over here. This is the Mandalay Bay. You can see the Y effect here. And this is the range that he shot at, which is over 1,000 feet. And the tanks are way back here. So, the bottom left, kind of to the left side here, is where those tanks are. And that's the furthest distance, and to get up under that lip, on the tank from that angle, kind of impossible. Anyway, so this is the victims, where their bodies were, this is their narrative. where their bodies were in the venue or in around the venue. So you can see, you've got Tropicana in the center of it, in the heart of it here. A lot of calls coming from the Desert Rose, Hooters, America's Best Value Inn. The black X's here are where the actual deceased were inside the venue. But all these little red dots are all the people who were injured.
Send me that picture too when you send the Scruffy Beard Paddock one, because I don't know if I have that picture.
So it creeps down the strip here past the convention center, and these are all victims or injured, I should say. The red dots are injured, and it goes way past. Here's a Mandalay Bay over here to the left, Four Seasons, so you got injured all the way up over here and injured all the way up over here. And this is according to their narrative, but notice how the injuries just stop here at Tropicana Avenue. And like we were talking in the last stream, we had victims up here in the MGM Grand who were shot in the leg on the tram station, and people up here in New York, and then obviously way up here further in the Bellagio and such, that they say, oh, no, those were just victims from the concert that ran all the way up there. So, this is their narrative of all the victims, that are just here clumped together, and not up the strip, like the phone calls say, the 911 calls. Oops, sorry. Go too hard. Ah, come on. Oops. Hold on. Go back, see if I skip something. So calls coming in from the Desert Rose. It's just timelines. Mary Lou's connections, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. She had a payroll. She was on the FBI payroll. So was Paddock. So just, how they like to promote, shooting guns in Vegas. That's a billboard sign. Oops. What? I'm doing this all wrong now. What was that? Sorry.
Well, I hate to cut it short, guys, but I got to get to bed.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm ready to cut it too.
Yeah, me too.
Matt, you and I will do a live later this week where you cover all that stuff you had.
Yeah, that'll work. It'll be easier.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it.
Everyone have a good night, and thanks for watching.
Sure.
And we'll do another one in a couple of days.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Angelica, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Angelica, and thanks, Matt and Joe. Thank you. He was on earlier.
Okay. No problem. Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye.